Last spring, 64 entities battled to the finish in what was perhaps the most ludicrous event in podcast history.
We're able to create a two-headed dog with 6 legs.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
Despite our primate brethren's mighty challenge, it was the Dark Knight rising above all.
Who the hell do you think I am? I'm the goddamn Batman!
In 2014, there are new rivals emerging from all corners of the Basically Sports vault.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
It is truly the showcase of the ridiculous and a podcast spectacle that is unlike any other. Prepare yourselves. The 2014 Glorious Tournament of Victory has arrived. You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And download every episode and more at basicallyasportshow.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg,
Mike.
And this is Andy, and you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
That's
here we
year 2, number 2, second
year 2 of the 2000. No, that's wrong too.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Thank you, Zach. Take it away.
Welcome to the glorious tournament of victory, second annual Glorious Tournament Victory Selections Show.
That's right.
I'm Zach, you hear Greg, along with us is Mike, and making his triumphant return back to the Basically a Sports universe, it's Andy.
Hey, I'm here. What's up? Let's do it. I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm excited.
We're all excited.
The excitement is palpable.
I'm telling you what, guys. In GTOB fashion, of course, fans everywhere have been going crazy trying to get their entities represented in this year's tournament.
It's been a crazy season.
It has.
Let's be honest.
I mean, after the chaos that ensued last year with the goddamn Batman coming out on top, I think that it kind of like whet people's excitement, their appetite.
It whet people's excitement, and the goddamn Batman coming out on top. He's going to bring a reckoning upon himself this year.
Well, I tell you,
as I mentioned in the thread, the Batman may not make it out of his own group this year. He has a contender.
People are gunning for the Batman. It's as simple as that. Anywhere you look, everybody's gunning for the Batman. But that's what happens when you win a championship. You put a big old target on your back.
Now, just to go over the format a little bit, everyone from last year who loved our tournament, the final 4 participants, they all got automatic entry into the tournament this season.
Right.
So my final 4 participant was the goddamn Batman. Andy, yours was Liam Neeson?
No, it was the chimpanzee in a 1997 Chevy Malibu.
Man, we already have our first controversy. This is beautiful.
Well, no, wasn't it slightly fatigued Liam Neeson? Because Liam Neeson
slightly fatigued Liam Neeson because he went up against the Batman and lost.
And there was that whole debate of would he, make the same mistake the second time?
Huh.
Well, I went back and looked at the bracket. It was
apparently Liam Neeson has stepped away then because I've got chimpanzee in a 1997 Chevy Malibu. Unless this board we are the deciding group.
Well, if slightly fatigued Liam Neeson has become too fatigued to continue,
that's what I think.
He obviously had to be replaced by the next best champion.
Man's a year older. He's more fatigued.
And his last movie
can't stop planes can't stop planes from getting blown up now. So.
His last movie was terrible. So
right.
Maybe that movie was shot inside the Malaysian flight. Conspiracies.
All right, while we're talking about the Malaysian flight, I mentioned this before we started the show.
Aliens.
I can't let it go without bringing it up. I was almost ready to let the whereabouts of this Malaysian flight be one of the entries in the Glorious Tournament of Victory, but I changed my mind. Do you guys think I made the right move?
That's fine. I was, like I had mentioned before the show, I was thinking about going the same route. I decided against it, but I did pick something that was similar. Well, yeah. I went to the similar route. I took a left turn into the ocean.
Very nice.
I think it's aliens. It's got to be. I eagerly await the Ancient Aliens episode on this in about 2 weeks.
Well, Ancient Aliens guy lost in the first round of his conference tournament this year, so without giving anything away, I can say that he did not make this year's tournament.
Well, he made it last year. I think he bowed out to Wild Wing on Fire last year.
Yes.
So.
Well, going back through the Final Four, goddamn Batman, Liam Neeson is being replaced by Chimp in a Malibu. Am I correct?
As it should be, yes.
Yes.
And then on the other side, we have Mike with the Wild Wing on Fire. And Greg, yours was?
Last year's runner-up in the championship match, Chimp Bartender.
Chimp Bartender.
From the powerhouse Chimp Conference.
The Chimp Conference, another strong season from the Chimp Conference.
Absolutely.
The SEC of the Glorious Tournament of Victory.
Yes, and I'll tell you how serious these guys were getting. And I posted a clip on the thread. Chimp broke out an AK-47. These dudes are not playing around this year.
I had a really big controversy in the Chubbs Peterson Memorial Bracket as it was kind of coming together for the conference title games at the Detroit 7-Eleven basement. There was a 97 Chevy Malibu Chimpanzee and another entrant in my field, and it caused a lot of controversy, and you'll figure out who that other attendant is when I reveal him in tonight's bracket reveal, of course.
So. All right.
Why don't we just get into it then?
Okay. Well, let me set everything up.
Else to say?
Just really quick, I want to set up how it's going to work so there's no confusion like there was last year. Tonight, we announce the field of 64, and then we play it down to the round of 32, I believe.
Right. Yes. Yeah, we will make picks tonight who will win these matchups, and then from the round of 32 on, it's up to the fans.
That's right.
And for our non-CCSLC listeners, I am going to set up a bracket, and we will link to it via our Twitter feed and on our website, and you can follow along and vote there as well. So that's how it's going to go, right? We cool with that? All right.
There are several playing games here tonight.
Yes.
The Sentinel Prime Memorial Region of Excellence has its bracket set.
Excellent.
But I believe that the other conferences the other regions have playing games.
So we have 3 playing games.
We have 3 playing games.
No, I did not. I thought about one earlier. I could not. I made the decision that this game wasn't going to be a contest. So I left the team in.
I don't know how things work in the Cleveland Browns and Chubbs Peterson regions, but in the Sentinel Prime Memorial Region of Excellence, we get all of our ducks in a row the day of.
Well, I just while we're talking about regions really quick, the What It Means to Cleveland Brown region has done a slight tweak. It is now the What It Means to be a Cleveland Brown region of abject despair. Just threw that on just to make that.
What the hell is that acronym even? It's like...
I don't know. It makes about as much sense as anything else the Browns do, so there you go.
New uniforms coming 2015.
Yeah.
That'll be
It's going to make everything better.
Right.
It's going to wash over any misdoings the Browns have had up until this point.
So, Zach, you had the champion from last year. You get to choose which region we reveal first, so who's it going to be?
Well, we'll start with the champions region, the Charlie Conway Memorial region.
All right.
Do it.
Leading off the 2014 Glorious Tournament of Victory, the Charlie Conway Memorial Region.
We're going to start off with the 8-9 matchup. My 8 seed is the Chewbacca defense.
Oh,
nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Going up against Pharrell's really stupid hat that he's been wearing around.
The Chewbacca defense number 8?
Yes.
Chewbacca defense is the 8th seed.
It's a good matchup.
For those that don't remember the Chewbacca defense, it's the argument that Chewbacca is from the planet Kashyyyk, but he lives on the planet Endor with Ewoks, and that does not make sense.
No.
Does not make sense.
Which set O.J. Simpson free, amongst us, on South Park.
Yeah. And Pharrell's hat is, he's been wearing around, I guess, since the Grammys. It looks like a Dudley Do-Right Canadian Mountie hat, but it's also really tall. So it's a cross between the stupid Arby's hat and a Canadian Mountie hat, and I don't know what to do with it, and I hate it.
I was going to go with Haas from Bonanza, but that's even before my time. I just remember seeing pictures of that hat. But yeah, it's a dumb hat, no doubt about it. Good matchup. Good matchup.
The 2014 equivalent of Justin Bieber's pants, which was a very much forgotten participant in last year's tournament.
Yeah, I'd completely forgotten they were in, but yes.
I believe Justin Bieber's pants were eliminated by Hulk Hogan's penis last year.
As it should be.
We'll go to the 7-10. Now, to preface my 7 seed, I have to say the calendar conference just recently moved up to Division I status from last year.
Ooh.
They were in Division II. They applied. They got the recognition. So the Calendar Conference makes it in to the Division I, and they're only getting one spot in this tournament because weak conference schedule. They're only going to get in by winning the conference tournament. And in a surprise, Friday won the Calendar Conference tournament. So the day Friday. Not the movie.
Wow, because
the day.
Wednesday was the odds-on favorite going into the season.
Wednesday was going hard. October made a big push.
Yes, absolutely.
It was rough, but Friday came out on top there. They are the 7th seed, and they are going up against number 10, the sunken wreckage of the Titanic.
Ooh, nice, very nice.
Yeah, that was Friday. Where I made the left turn into the ocean from the plane.
You got to think here that Friday would have the inherent advantage, but we'll see when we debate these.
Friday is eternal, but the sunken wreckage, it's
kind of eternal too.
It's pretty spooky. It hasn't gone away yet, and it's inspired James Cameron to spend a lot of money. So
I would just say this about the Calendar Conference: it's just sad what's happened to December over the years, because that December used to be just the UCLA, if you will, of the Calendar Conference, and not anymore.
Yeah, ever since they let Kwanzaa in there, I don't
exactly.
Oh, it just hasn't been the same.
It has not been the same.
Controversial debate.
Ever since integration, the.
Well, that's a fair point. You'll notice that the racist conference has not had many participants in recent glorious tournaments of victory.
No. The homophobes have been pretty strong, but not anywhere close to the rest of the competition. They're facing severe penalties by the GTOV CAA.
Was that your 7-10?
That was a 7-10. All right.
We'll move on to the 6-11 matchup. The 6th seed is Dikembe Mutombo's Finger Wag, going up against the 11th seed, a cat chasing a laser pointer.
Oh.
Ooh, that's going to be tough.
That's a good match.
Yeah, Dikembe Mutombo, very good at denying. Made recent appearances in Geico commercials. Made recent appearances at a Denver Nuggets game, taking the ball away from the mascot as he tried to dunk. Cat chasing laser pointer. He's been a perennial, crowd favorite over the years. 11 seed here, definitely potential for an upset. I'm not putting that out of the. As with the glorious tournament victory, upsets are rampant. And seedings mean nothing.
My cats are. It's appointment television when there is a cat chasing the laser pointer game on. It's just so yeah, it's a big deal. Nice to see them make the tournament.
Yeah,
cat crowds everywhere really respond well to cat chasing the laser pointer, but I mean, Dikembe Mutombo's finger, I mean, that is a huge finger.
I already know how this thing's going to end up, and we'll wait till we get there. But
the cat could go after that finger.
Well, okay, thanks, Mike. You just blew the whole thing. But yeah, that's exactly right. All right, go ahead.
Laser shines, my friends. We'll go to the always upset-ridden 12-5 matchup, and my 5 seed is Tony Danza, and my 12 seed is a quizzical Dilophosaurus, which, if you don't know, is the dinosaur that killed Newman in Jurassic Park.
And it's
excellent.
Quizzical. This one's quizzical.
He's a quizzical Dilophosaurus.
Quizzical,
now with the Dilophosaurus, there has been some questions in the dinosaur community whether to the authenticity of Dilophosaurus and its portrayal in Jurassic Park. If it does indeed shoot venom out of its glands, if it had glands at all.
I do think the drug testing's going to unveil that.
They've been waiting for the results. They haven't come in yet, so they haven't been eliminated from the tournament, but they do make it with a black cloud over their head.
Dilophosaurus is going to face some hard-hitting questions whenever the matchup comes to light here.
It is, indeed.
No doubt.
And Tony Danza on the other side of this matchup.
Tony Danza.
Who is the boss, really?
Tony Danza, what is his seed even?
He's a 5.
Tony Danza's a 5. That's a bit of a reach in my opinion. Tony Danza coming in at a 5.
Yeah, I got to agree. I think Danza at best a 10 seed at best, but you never know with the seedings in these things.
That's why they make the rankings the way they do. So we'll see. Because 12-5.
We know the rankings are just made for Vegas. To set the lines.
Exactly.
And to get the movement on the
maybe Tony Danza gets hot and we all look like fools. You never know.
You never know. We'll go to the 4-13. My 4 seed is the chillest bro you know. He's
Nice.
just so chill, man. Just whatever. And the 13 seed is a deer in your headlights.
Like,
You're driving down the road. There's a deer in your headlights.
Okay.
What do you do?
This matchup could potentially reveal some very interesting things about all of us.
Yes, it kind of up the soul of the host.
I may have to abstain from voting in that game because I actually had a deer in my headlights not more than 6 weeks ago.
I've killed a deer. I've killed one.
That actually happened to me. We'll have to wait till we get to actually calling the games to see if I should abstain or not.
Indeed.
We'll go to the 314, and number 3, coming in at the 3 seed, is our listener pick for this part of the bracket. Norway's Curling Pants, a strong 3 seed, going up against Apple fanboys at a press conference releasing the new iPhone.
That's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a down to the wire affair.
I mean, those curling pants got a lot of hype coming in. I almost question to think maybe they're coming in too hot.
A lot of flair, a lot of flash, a lot of arrogance. Many could say the Justin Bieber pants of this year's tournament as well. You
got to wait and see, because that matchup, I mean, it's fair. I like where it's at, but at the same time, I got a bad feeling about those pants. Those fan picks, you got to kind of be careful with how much you look into them as far as who gets the win.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. We'll go to the 215, and in a surprise, the goddamn Batman comes in at the number 2 seed this year, not the number 1 seed.
Ooh!
He fell down a spot. He got a little fat on the championship. Didn't have to try as hard this year. Knew that he was an automatic qualifier, but still a quality entrant, as he did manage to get a 2 seed. But Batman, the goddamn Batman, as the 2 seed, will go up against the 15 seed, the Office water cooler. A lot of conversation around the water cooler.
Say what you will about goddamn Batman, but I mean, water cooler might have an advantage here depending on what kind of Batman we're looking at here.
Well, I'm just curious if the goddamn Batman came in at number 2. I'm thinking this got to be a real shocker at the number 1 seed in this region. It's just got to be.
Because Batman was an overwhelming winner.
Yes, Batman was never even challenged last year in the tournament. Never even played a close game.
We'll see what water cooler can do. It's going to be rough.
Water cooler. He does bring a lot of people to the party. So
yes.
It'll be interesting to see if Batman can go up against those numbers.
So who's this mysterious number 1, Zach?
Well, we'll go the 116 matchup. I'll give the 16. The 16 seed is that One Time at Band Camp.
Like the actual movie One Time?
No,
they actually did make an American Pie movie called One Time at Band Camp.
No, not the movie. Just that One Time at Band Camp.
Oh, okay.
Just the idea. That thought of that.
Okay.
And the number 1 seed, say his name. Say my name.
Whoa.
Walter White.
Wow.
Oh.
Should have seen that one coming. I'm surprised I didn't even forecast it myself. Walter White. Whew, man, that is going to be good.
Breaking Bad, still riding the wave.
That's the other thing. Batman had a decent season, but Walter White had a tremendous season, like an all-time season this year. And coming into the tournament, he deserved that number 1 seed. I believe more than anybody else.
That may or may not be the overall tournament number 1 right there. I don't know. That's a tough call. Overall number 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we'll have to wait and see where the other number 1s stand.
Right. So that's my field of 16. Let's move on to let's go with Greg.
What it means to be a Cleveland Brown region.
What it means to be a Cleveland Brown region of abject despair.
Abject despair.
We did have a play-in game in this region, and it took place tonight. In the play-in game, 1 gallon of Hawaiian Punch beat out the Comfort Wipe.
Ooh.
In a contest that wasn't as close as you would think looking at it on paper.
Wait, what? It's Comfort Wipe?
The Comfort Wipe, yes.
Is that like a baby wipe?
It is a. Oh, how can I put this? It's.
Is that the thing they give you after you eat ribs?
No, it's a handle that you stick toilet paper on. Okay, I believe it is designed for large people.
Oh,
I'll Google it.
It comes from the infomercial conference, and it.
Did the slap chop have a down season? Or what?
Oh man, what a weird looking thing that is.
Now, everybody take a look at this thing.
Here, I'm going to put it in the old chat here. It looks kind of like a strange dish cleaning brush dildo type,
Exactly.
with like a punch.
Wow.
I think what happened was that
Use this to like wipe your ass?
well, essentially yes.
Okay.
To not put too fine a point on it, Mike, that's exactly what it's used for.
So what?
But the infomercial itself is poetry because there's a guy that weighs about 600 pounds that says, "Now I can, wipe comfortably," and it's just.
Hold on. So did the comfort wipe beat the gallon of punch?
Well, that's what we're going to decide.
Oh, okay.
I went with I was thinking going with the gallon of Hawaiian Punch, but
I got to go with comfort wipe.
Comfort Wipe knocks out Hawaiian Punch as a 16 seed.
Comfort wipe.
They didn't know what to expect. The gallon of Hawaiian Punch did not know what it was getting into when it went up against this comfort wipe.
All right.
The comfort wipe, it doesn't make a lot of noise, but when it shows up, wow.
Things get ugly.
It may have more to say. I mean, last year we had a 116 upset. We had a 116. I think we might have had two.
Last year in the Sentinel Prime Memorial Region of Excellence, the number 16 seed, a 24-pack of Lakeport beer, defeated the number 1 seed. That was the glorious leader of Kim Jong-un of North Korea.
Wow.
And in the what it means to be a Cleveland Brown region last year, number 16, I don't remember what it was, knocked off number 1 seed. Number 1 overall in the tournament seed, Jupiter, in the first round. So it does happen.
I can't believe Jupiter lost.
I know. And then there was a controversy over where we seeded it and everything else, but we won't get into that tonight. Okay, so in the what it means to be a Cleveland Brown region of abject despair, the 8-9 game, the number 9 seed, season 1 of Naked and Afraid. Are you guys all familiar with that show?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Takes on 2 miles of bad road. That's your 8-9 matchup.
Okay.
2 miles of bad road coming in from the Highway Conference, of course, and season 1 of Naked and Afraid coming in and being the winner of the reality TV conference. So there's your 8-9 matchup.
Ridiculous.
Really? Did they win the conference tournament, or were they the regular season champion? Because that's hard to believe.
Season 1 of Naked and Afraid won the conference championship, but because it's such a small conference and it's not taken very seriously, they did not get anything but their automatic bid. That's why they got there, because they knocked off some other pretty good contenders, but it's just the way it goes.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was 8C, 2 miles of bad road. The 7-10 matchup at number 10, March Madness 12 brackets guy. I think we all know who that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
People that I have this bracket, I have that bracket, I have that bracket, will be taking on.
I have 2, if that makes it any better.
Well, this is an interesting matchup because it's almost like the same kind of people. And March Madness 12 brackets guy will take on the number 7 seed. Share if you're a Patriot Facebook post. Are we familiar with those?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Feels good. Ugh.
Oh, man, that's. Ooh.
This is
That's
a
rough.
fitting entry for the Cleveland Browns. Just seems kind of unsavory and kind of. It works, though. I mean, you're generating some good matchups here. I'm intrigued.
All right, then the 11-6 matchup, the number 11 seed, the Bacon Bowl, will take on the listener submission for my region, Japanese Ronald McDonald at number 6.
I was wondering where
It's
Japanese.
coming strong in this region with the Bacon Bowl.
So is this Japanese Ronald McDonald filling in de facto for the mysterious Colonel Sanders thing, whatever it was last year?
It's from the Japanese fast food mascot conference.
Right, exactly. Japanese Ronald McDonald pulled the major upset.
Creepy conference, creepy.
Very creepy conference. It's usually just on ESPN 7 late at night.
And
Legally, I don't think they're allowed to air their matchups before 9 o'clock.
Right. They're usually playing after 2.
Okay, we're ready to move on.
Move on. Let's do it.
In the 12-5 matchup, and we know this is always a good one for an upset, the number 12 seed, the Amish Mafia, take on number 5 seed, Dick Vitale's Glass Eye.
He's not a glass eye.
You didn't know that?
Oh.
Yeah, he's got a glass eye. I thought everybody knew that.
I'll be damned.
Yes.
How about that?
And it made the tournament. So there you go. All right. Okay.
It's awesome, baby.
I thought
every disability conference.
Barely beating out Christopher Reeve's neck brace.
He's dead.
Oh.
Okay. Number 13 and number 4, the 13 seed. This is one I liked in the listener submission, so it made the tournament. Space Chimp with a newspaper Another strong contender out of the Mighty Chimp Conference, taking on the number 4 seed, the OJ Verdict.
Ooh.
The Chewbacca defense in another bracket, too.
Right.
Pop culture bomb being dropped right there. Damn.
Right.
So that should be an interesting matchup, too.
Sure, absolutely.
Indeed.
Number 14, was it 14-3, right?
Yeah.
At number 14 seed, the Lowdown will take on number 3 seed, 5 Drunken Somali Pirates at a county fair.
Oh, my.
Oh. Okay, this has the potential to be the most violent matchup.
I don't even know what to say. There's so much room for flexibility there. I'm interested to see how they match up when they face off.
It's definitely going to be an interesting matchup. It could go any way, especially, considering the seedings. It's kind of amazing that you can get this wide open of a matchup at this point in the tournament.
Right.
Well, exactly. You just really don't know what 5 Drunken Somali Pirates are going to do in any circumstance.
No, you don't.
But especially when you place them at a county fair in, say, Iowa or Ohio or Illinois, for that matter.
Indeed. I'm very, very strange, but I take it. I like it. It's very GTOV.
All right, and we're at 215 now?
Yes.
Okay, the number 15 seed, Action Figure Evel Knievel. This may be going back too far for you guys, I'm not sure, but look it up.
Does he have special,
functions?
Jump action?
He rides a motorcycle and he jumps things. All right?
Oh, okay.
We'll take on the out-of-nowhere contender this year, the number 2 seed, the Polar Vortex, making the tournament this year, out of the Weather Conference.
It had a strong season, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
It's not done yet.
Exactly.
It's not done.
I posted the Evel Knievel action figure in the chat for you gentlemen. It's kind of strange looking, but...
And, of course, we had our number 16 seed, the Comfort Wipe, winning the play-in game over what we thought was going to be 1 gallon of Hawaiian Punch at 16, but in a quick reversal of fortune, the Comfort Wipe gets in, 1 gallon of Hawaiian Punch goes home. We'll take on number 1 seed, and returning from last year's Final Four and the championship round, of course, it's Chimp Bartender.
All right.
So there you have it, what it means to be a Cleveland Brown region of abject despair.
Very good.
What the Chimp Bartender is going to do with a Comfort Wipe is just... It's hard to fathom, really.
It's almost disconcerting to even think about. Really. I mean,
it is.
It must be done, considering just the history of primates and feces. It's, a lot of background here, a lot of backstory.
I got to say I'm a little disappointed. I thought Dick Vitale's glass eye, I thought everyone knew that, so, okay.
Well,
that's all right.
Now we know, and now it's half the battle.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, you never know. You got to let these things play out.
All right, so where are we off to next, Zach?
Who came in third last year?
Well,
I guess it was third place, really.
Right. Let's
Zach, you decide. You want?
Let's go with Andy.
The Chubbs Peterson Memorial Region.
All right, the Chubbs Peterson Memorial bracket here. All right, a lot of strange debate, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of strange shit. 8-9, right? Start off with. Okay, number 9 seed, making it from the pizza conference, is the Noid. The Noid of Domino's.
Ooh.
Mix it in, avoid the Noid.
The Noid making a comeback. Nice.
Going against number 8 seed, one of my favorite seeds, the uncomfortable clown-themed VHS porno. That is number 8 seed. Uncomfortable clown-themed VHS porno.
Is that the VHS conference?
Coming from the My Dad's Garage.
Ah, okay.
Conference. The uncomfortable clown-themed VHS porno at number 8. So, the number, what do I go to now? Number
7-11, 7-10.
7-10. Okay, number 7. I'm going to do 7 first. This is actually connected to Zach's and Away. It's the Dennis Nedry Jurassic Park hacker code. Makes it at number 7. That Samuel L. Jackson cannot figure out.
Hold on to your butts.
Exactly. Going against
Didn't say the magic word.
Exactly. Going against number 10, and this is the other member of the kind of primate conference playing game at the 7-Eleven in Detroit, is the number 10, Drunken Gorilla Astride a Penny Farthing. That is the Drunken Gorilla Astride a Penny Farthing. 7-10. 6-11.
Nasty.
It could. It depends. It could be strange, but that's the whole point. 6-11, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
11 seed, Tom Selleck's chest hair.
Ooh.
It's number 6, fucking Satan. Glorious tournament.
Satan,
the Lord of Darkness.
Satan is only an 11 seed.
He's six. He's 6.
Oh, he's the 6.
He has to be the 6th seed. He wouldn't take any other number.
Oh, well, of course. How could I be so
fucking sateful?
I'm sorry.
Okay. 5-12 round of upsets here. Number 12, going a little holiday themed here. The trio of Cadbury cream eggs.
Oh, okay, that's going to be hard to beat.
It's number 5, the Cruncha Muncha Subway jingle.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
5 seeds. Came in strong.
That's a 5 seed?
That's a 5 seed. Came in strong. Cruncha Muncha, Crunch Muncha. This thing's annoying as hell.
Yeah, stop that.
And
I hope it means a swift end. What is it going up against again?
That is going against a trio of Cadbury cream eggs. A strong,
they're creamy and delicious and satisfying, unlike whatever.
But we'll get into the debate when it comes up. Number 4, 13. Number 4 seed, coming back from last year, kind of much debated, Chimpanzee in a 1997 Chevy Malibu. Will be taking on number 13, a morbidly obese hoarder.
Oh, okay.
Morbidly obese hoarder coming in number 13.
Those hoarders can be tough. That's a tough conference.
They can put up a strong defense with
exactly
garbage they can throw.
Piling shit.
Yes.
Another number 3, number 14 here. Number 14, a lumberjack eating pancakes.
Okay.
Going against the 3 seed, strong 3 seed. I dare see how far this one goes. Daniel Day-Lewis's acting ability. Coming
okay, that's going to be tough.
His acting ability, number 3. Number 215, this is my favorite matchup of the first round in my bracket. It is the number 15, Yarmer Yager's Vintage Penguins Mullet.
That was almost on my bracket. That's wild. Okay.
Going against the number 2, 1980s mustachioed cocaine dealer. 1980s mustachioed cocaine dealer coming in at number 2. Maybe overrated?
Yeah, that's a pretty high seed. Kind of out of fashion, but he's still chugging along. Very, very strong.
Nice to see the 70s unbuttoned shirt conference with the representative with Tom Selleck's chest hair, and of course the 80s with the cocaine dealer. That's nice. Good.
Now the number 1 seed was chosen from the board, and it was overwhelming in terms of response. It was Mother Russia in terms of power. Kind of has an easy one here because there is a play-in game that we can do. Play-in game. It's from the Are You Serious conference. A terminally ill Make-A-Wish child going up against a dirt-eating, emaciated railcar hobo.
Oh, God.
Dirt-eating, emaciated railcar hobo. Terminally ill Make-A-Wish child.
But that's the if that is not the
I've got to go with the hobo.
The essence of the Are You Serious conference, I don't know what else could be. That is.
But I mean, the winner will have to play Mother Russia, so it's going to be kind of rough. But that is the Chubbs Peterson Memorial Conference.
Let's figure out this play-in game. Okay.
I've got to go with the hobo because the hobo will not be moved by the dying child.
I have to go with the dying child because who isn't moved by a dying child?
A dirt-eating hobo.
But here, this is my thing. The dying child has nothing to lose. And they always say that you do not want to face a person with nothing to lose. And the dying child has nothing to lose at all.
What does the hobo have to lose?
His dirt? His
dirt?
Car?
He might get kicked off the rail car.
But I mean, he has no shame. The terminally ill Make-A-Wish child's just sort of a sick little kid.
Yeah, but he could pop a cap off in him just like that, no problem, and not think twice about it. What are they going to do to him? Put him in prison for life? Big deal.
It's up to you. I cannot decide this. It's up to you 3. I mean, I have no bearing.
I'm casting my vote for the hobo.
I'm going with the kid.
So it comes down to me, huh?
It's down to you, Gregory.
I don't know. Andy makes a good point with the kid being weak.
Yeah.
But I got to go with the kid. Sorry, Mike.
Okay.
The kid's got nothing to lose. The kid would stab the hobo in the face with a pitchfork if need be. It's no problem.
So terminally ill Make-A-Wish child defeats dirt-eating, emaciated railcar hobo to be the number 16 seed against Mother Russia.
And something else that should be noted is that the hobo is emaciated, so it's not like he's exactly at the top of his game.
He's eating dirt. So
right.
I mean, it doesn't really have much. So. All right, that conference is good to go.
Let's round it out with the Sentinel Prime Region of Excellence, Micah.
The Sentinel Prime Region of Excellence.
Okay, so we're going to start at the bottom. Number 9, the former planet Pluto.
Ooh.
Is going up against number 8 seed Fox Mulder's I Want to Believe poster.
That's a good matchup.
That's a nice
good interstellar matchup.
Absolutely.
Number 10 seed Alex Jones's Paranoia.
Oh.
Okay.
Is going up against number 7 Rob Ford's Crack Pipe.
Ooh.
There it is.
Very strong season. Very strong season.
And there are, oh my goodness, the possibilities with that matchup, it's going to be something.
Number 11 seed, a VHS collection of the original unedited Star Wars trilogy.
Very strong.
Will be going up against number 6, Decepticon leader Megatron, the Emperor of Destruction.
Yeah, that's...
Number 5, number 12 seed, a Science Oven.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
Science Oven.
Is going up against number 5, the Dogs of Sochi.
Dogs of
What is this?
Sochi.
A Science Oven. Science Oven versus the Dogs of Sochi.
Dogs of Sochi, I thought was an inspired pick this year. Really had a great
13,
run.
Number 13, Chicago Jesus.
Ooh, another strong contender.
Ray L. Chicago Jesus.
We could possibly have Satan versus Chicago Jesus in the final.
Chicago,
it's entirely possible.
Chicago Jesus goes up against Longclaw, Jon Snow's sword from Game of Thrones.
Awesome.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad you
Number 4, the 14 seed, the Los Angeles Clippers fans' unwarranted sense of self-importance is going up against the number 3 seed of Ted Turner's mustache.
Ooh.
Couple of mustaches in the tournament this year.
Body hair in here.
Yeah.
The facial hair conference. Very strong.
The number 15 seed, Nike corporate speak at a uniform unveiling.
Oh, man.
Is going up against the number 2 seed, the Invincible Iron Man.
Ooh.
Invincible.
Is he truly invincible?
That's what it says on the cover of the comic books.
Well, that's what this tournament is here to find out. If he truly is invincible.
The search will determine this.
And number 16 seed, the shark that the fawns jumped over.
That's another listener submission.
That was a listener submission.
That was a listener submission, and it goes against the number 1 seed, the defending champs, Wild Wing on Fire.
Wild Wing on Fire. Very good. That's a good
comeback season. He's got his eye on the prize after losing out in the Final Four last year.
But he made an improbable run to the Final Four last year. Did anyone see him going that far?
You know what? That inspired the recruiting, and they were able to get a good young, fresh recruiting class in there.
There you go.
So you never can predict how these things turn out.
I mean, he made it over. I thought for sure that Ancient Aliens guy would have defeated him in the conference finals, in the regional finals, but he made it.
Ancient Aliens guy was a bit of a disappointment last year. Absolutely.
I know, but maybe he can get back into the tournament next year if he has a strong showing with this Malaysian flight thing. Because
yes, indeed.
Who are we giving the overall number 1 seed to? We got to pick that too.
It's either Walter White or Mother Russia.
I've got to give it to Mother Russia. And here's why. They just invaded a sovereign country and just said, "We're just going to take this part of it." They just do not care. They just do not care. Walter White.
If they were truly ambitious, Walter White's out to create an empire. Whereas Mother Russia is like, we want this little peninsula.
No.
This little piece of Ukraine.
But that's the thing. Walter White's out to create an empire. Mother Russia is an empire.
Was an empire.
Someone made a good point on the boards with this. They said that Russia couldn't decide if they wanted to be in Europe or Asia, so they just decided to be in both. That's how strong Mother Russia is. Something to think about.
I have to go with Walter White here because
Walter White was also in Europe, if you remember.
Walter White's ambitions are much higher than Russia. I think because Russia, despite being the entity that does not give a shit, they are still limited compared to Walter White. They're always going to be more limited than what a single man can do. And Walter White has clearly shown that if he puts his mind to it, he can accomplish anything, which is basically what Doc Brown said to Marty McFly. But yeah, I would have to give the number 1 overall here to Walter White. Plus, he was just coming off a tremendous 6 seasons, basically. Right? It was technically 5.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah.
But yeah, awesome. I'd go Walter White number 1, Russia 2.
Mike?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right. All right. Walter White is our number 1 overall seed.
That's what we're good for here, folks.
All right.
All right, then. Let's go through the matchups. Let's start with our number 1 seed, Walter White, Heisenberg. He's going up against that one time at band camp. Gentlemen, the floor is yours to discuss.
Got to be Walter White here, guys. There's no
Walter White would murder everyone at band camp if they were in his way.
I mean, band camp is simply an event, and we're talking about one time. Walter White. Let's assume he had his one time at band camp. He probably
he's
killed.
He's a chemistry professor. I would assume
he has no business being there. So I mean, assuming he was there, probably selling blue or something.
I was just going to say the same thing. That he got all the band camp kids hooked on meth, and that was that. Party over. Walter White.
I don't think the one time at band camp is a very strong 16. I mean, strong enough to overtake such a powerful one. In this tournament, I got to go. I think Walter White trounces. He has his one time at band camp and he walks away victorious from band camp.
And let's not forget, it's just one time at band camp. It's not the entire band camp. It's not every event that took place. It's just that one time. So exactly. Yeah, I'm with Walter White. I think that's an easy win.
Walter White, easily.
Walter White moves on as expected.
Walter White moves on to the round of 32, where he will face the winner of our 8-9 matchup. And this, we said it might be tight. Number 8, the Chewbacca defense, going up against number 9, Pharrell's stupid hat.
I got to go with the Chewbacca defense. The Chewbacca defense, it got O.J. Simpson off.
Yeah.
I mean, that hat, all the hat manages to do is annoy me every time I see it. I just cannot see it overcoming that defense. It can't penetrate that defense.
The Chewbacca defense also permeates time, or transcends it, kind of, because the Pharrell hat, while now a thing, will not last. I'm sure it will kind of just be a thing for a few months.
It's not a fashion thing that's ever going to catch on, I don't think.
I would bet that the Pharrell hat doesn't even make it to the end of the tournament as far as being a thing. It won't even last that long. I got to go with the Chewbacca defense myself.
Like Chewbacca
Pharrell is really committing to it, though. He may try to make it last as long as he's willing.
He's going to put his time into it,
but he's going to have to try to stretch it out. The Chewbacca defense, Johnny Cochran's dead, and the Chewbacca defense is still going strong.
Exactly.
We're talking about a reference to 1995 here. I mean, that itself is too much. Like, if we're just comparing just pop culture powers here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're talking.
I'm just arguing the devil's advocate here.
I understand completely, and I think Pharrell's hat is weird and dumb, and it certainly deserves a place in this tournament. But I just think it went up against a buzzsaw here, and there's no, it's not going to set up a good matchup. Because I mean, look at it this way: if you look at the next round, you'll have Walter White versus Pharrell's hat. I mean, really?
Yeah.
White has his own hat. He would wear it. He would wear Pharrell's hat. It wouldn't even be a matchup. He would be known for that hat. He would make it his.
The Heisenberg hat by itself would beat Pharrell's hat.
Exactly.
Forget Walter White. Wouldn't even have to show up.
Even just in terms of matchup, I mean, just for the sake of a better matchup, we'd have to go with Chewbacca defense.
All right.
Chewbacca defense it is. We'll move on. Let's see. We'll go to the 5-12. 5 seed is Tony Danza going up against number 12, a Quizzical Dilophosaurus.
Quizzical Dilophosaurus, easy. No contest.
So, like, what...
Wow.
With this Tony...
Okay, the Quizzical Dilophosaurus, even without the acid-spitting glands, could still tear him limb from limb easily.
Well, I mean, it's a Quizzical Dilophosaurus. I mean, it's just curious. It's not really... I mean, it's just kind of looking. I mean, maybe Tony Danza could act his way...
And let me make this point about it, too. Tony Danza's career has been inexplicable. It's going to confuse the hell out of a Quizzical Dilophosaurus. I mean, people can't figure out how Tony Danza's lasted this long. You think a dinosaur is going to be able to pull it off? I'm going with Tony Danza on this one.
I mean, he made a career out of Who's the Boss, and I believe he was in Angels in the Outfield, wasn't he?
He sure was.
I mean, he was Mel Clark, and he died.
He was on Taxi back in the, 80s? Yeah.
He's been in a bunch of crap. I mean, basically ever since then. He just is himself.
And he's still here.
But are we talking about...
his own, don't forget the Tony Danza show.
Right.
Is this a full-grown Dilophosaurus?
Yes. Well, and if you remember from his appearance in Jurassic Park, full-grown Dilophosaurus is only about 4 feet tall.
Yeah, but Tony Danza's like 60.
He used to be a boxer.
It's a carnivorous dinosaur. I don't see how he can get the Quizzical Dilophosaurus at a certain point.
And let's not forget his frills that came from his neck.
The venom is fake. I mean, the venom is fake.
But he's quizzical. He's going to be confused by Tony Danza.
Well, quizzical, it's more curious. I mean, hell, I would be quizzical if Tony Danza just showed up in front of me.
Right.
I just don't think that if the Dilophosaur was a smarter animal, then maybe Tony Danza could coerce it into doing something dumb, like dancing with it.
But because it's a dinosaur, it's operating on animalistic instinct. Sooner or later, it's just going to eat him.
I will say, here's the thing,
and here's the stats on the Dilophosaurus. If you're curious, he measured around 23 feet long, and may have weighed up to 1,500 pounds.
Wait a minute.
That's a legit Dilophosaur, not a Jurassic Park Dilophosaur.
Right. The actual Dilophosaurus. See, this is where the confusion comes in. Is it the Dilophosaurus in archaeology or the Dilophosaurus from Jurassic Park? That's for you to decide. He's a quizzical Dilophosaurus.
I would go with the one. Either way, it would destroy Tony Danza, but I'm going to use, for my personal reference, the Jurassic Park one, which is sort of like a 5-foot-ish tall with venom shooting and frills. Neither of which were probably on the real Dilophosaur.
I'm sure I'm going to lose this argument anyway, but I will just say this. Tony Danza is still here. The dinosaur is not.
Ooh, that's a good point. But, I mean, for the sake of the tournament, though.
I'm telling you.
We had a Velociraptor to defeat a pet egg last year.
I can't say no to a dinosaur going against a human being. I simply can't do it. Not right now. Not with this matchup. A simple man. Tony Danza, just as he is, no.
That's a fair point, too.
Dilophosaur moves on, I think.
Mike?
Yeah. Dilophosaur, easy.
All right.
Quizzical Dilophosaurus, our first upset. The 12 over the 5.
Common upset.
Charlie, yeah, well, it was expected. It happens. But Quizzical Dilophosaurus moves on, defeating Tony Danza. In the 4-13, the 4 seed is the chillest bro you know.
Ooh.
And going up against the 13 seed, a deer in your headlights.
Okay, now, here's the thing about the deer. I have never faced a deer in my headlights, but I've got a pretty hefty truck. And I have to feel confident in its ability to run over any deer. If I see a deer in my headlights, that deer's dead.
A deer, I've run over and killed a deer before. I wasn't proud of it, but I did.
Well, what was the damage to your car?
Pretty substantial.
Yes. See, and that's the thinking.
Yeah. Well, but considering it's. The bro, though, I think if a bro was driving and was
the bro would run it over.
The bro would be like, whatever, dude, whatever, bro, just kill it without even hesitation. Maybe the deer. There's so many factors. The deer could either go over the car, could go through his windshield and kill the bro, but maybe he's so chill he doesn't even feel it. It's hard to say. I'm really having a tough time with this one. I need some input, guys.
I too have hit a deer just recently. I will say this. I hit the deer square in the shoulder, and as far as I can tell, he just ran away. But my car was not damaged either. So the chillest bro he's just going to chill and just run right over the deer. But I've got to give the deer some credit because, like I said, the deer got up and just took off. I'm going with the deer in this one.
I got to go with the deer simply because I don't think the bro has the competitive fire because he's so chill.
Exactly, right.
Mm-hmm. He's there for the ride,
Doesn't I think he even cares that he made the tournament, let alone whether he wins or loses.
Like the Dilophosaurus, it has an instinct. The deer has an instinct to survive. So even though it's in our headlights, I think the deer has got more chance in this case.
That is true. That is true. The bro, he just doesn't have that competitive fire. That's convinced me. I'm going with the deer.
Deer it is. So in the round of 32, we'll have Quizzical Dilophosaurus going up against the deer in your headlights.
Should be a good matchup.
So that will be definitely interesting. Let's see, where do we go to next? 6'11"?
Yes.
215.
6'11".
6'11". The 6th seed, Dikembe Mutombo's Finger Wag, goes up against Cat chasing a laser pointer.
I'll chime in on this one first. The cat chasing the laser pointer will drop the laser pointer and go after Mutombo's finger, and that's enough for me to give Mutombo the win.
Comparing the entities, I think if we were talking about Dikembe Mutombo wagging his finger back and forth and the cat chasing the laser pointer, I feel like he would get more exhausted of the finger wag quicker than the cat would get of chasing the laser pointer. I feel like the energy reserves for the cat would be much higher than Dumbo's interest in wagging his finger. Because when he does the finger wag, it's kind of like
this
three.
Is true.
It's like 3 wags. The cat.
The cat
for like an hour.
The cat would take a look at the wagging finger, maybe take a swat at it, and then go right back to whatever else he was doing. So I'm switching my vote. I'm going with the cat.
I have to go with the cat because the cat's going to go after the finger. And you know what? Cats, they're small, they're cute, but it's still when they claw or bite you, it hurts. I think that finger goes down when the cat decides to turn its attention towards it.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. The cat moves on.
Clean sweep.
I'm good with that. Cat chasing a laser pointer, the 11 seed. 3 straight upsets by double-digit seeds.
The way it goes. It's the way it goes.
Oh.
Moves on to the round of 32. And then we'll go up against the winner of the 3 seed Norway's Curling Pants and the 14 seed Apple fanboys at the unveiling of the brand new iPhone.
See, here's the thing: those fanboys, they can be insufferable. So
they can. I mean, looking at these. Let me pull up an image of the Norway pants here real quick.
Well, which ones?
Which ones? Right.
There are several iterations of the pants.
Maybe there's. I see. Oh my God!
They have many alternates.
Did they not, in fact, have their own Facebook page?
They do,
and a tracker.
They had
a tracker.
And indeed, they wore 9 different variations of this year's Olympics.
I would say
they've worn a different pant combination every year since the 2010 Olympics.
My argument's going to be that Apple fanboys would not care about anything but being Apple fanboys, so the pants would just I think, walk away with it. No pun intended.
I think if we're talking in terms of which is the more insufferable, like would the Apple fanboys annoy me or annoy the pants? Like would the pants annoy the Apple fanboys? Would
they annoy the pants off of you?
I think if I saw somebody that wore the curling pants every day, I would get annoyed by it because they're so stupid. But the Apple fanboys, because they're pretty much always at this conference, I won't have to see them. But then again, these pants only show up once every few years. So I guess I would go with the pants just because I feel like the Apple fanboys have only so much fight in them. They're only kind of interested if there's like an iPhone or something, an iMac they get at the end. So their competitive fire just is not there. I think the curling pants, they have to move on. They get at least one more round to prove their mettle here.
Let me throw this into the mix just to add a little dimension to the argument here. I have an iPhone, an iMac, an iPad, Apple TV, the whole bit. I'm an Apple person straight up and down, and Apple fanboys annoy me. So that's the power these guys have. Just wanted to throw that in.
I understand. I work with people who are a little out there regarding Macs, but I just feel like it's too limited entity to like the pants because fashion is so universal that the Apple fanboy thing is like, there could be the dirt eating hobo on the train. He doesn't even know what an iPhone is.
Here's the thing. The fame of the Norway curling pants, it goes across the internet. It goes across everyone's computer, Apple or PC. The Apple fanboys, they're just too niche. So I got to go with the pants.
Pants moving on.
Pants have it.
Yeah, I like the pants. I don't like Apple fanboys. I'm going with the pants.
So Norway's Curling Pants, the 3 seed, will be going up against the cat chasing a laser pointer.
Ooh,
now,
that's a good match.
Those that have ever owned a cat. And
that's for the second round.
How they can tear up your pants.
Second round is where the tournament comes alive. I feel like that's where
that's where things start happening. Yep.
Yeah. We'll move on. The 7 seed is the 7-10 matchup. The 7 seed is the day of Friday, the 5th day in the week, Friday, going up against the sunken wreckage of the Titanic.
Now I'm gonna bust out some history on everyone to make this matchup.
Was the Titanic set sail on a Friday?
No,
I was going to ask that. That's a good question.
I don't know about the Titanic, but what I do know is that Friday is actually named after Frigga, which was the Norse god, which was a Norse goddess. So, the way I look at it, anyone who wants to mess with Friday also has to mess with Thor.
Well, look at what I'm reading here. It's Old Norse. It's in Wikipedia here. It's Old English, It's Friday means the day of Frigg, which is pretty awesome. But there's a Roman goddess, an Old English goddess, rather. That's, I guess, Venus. The Roman Venus becomes the Old English goddess Frigg. I don't know what this means. But Friday, in terms of just Friday itself, I'm looking at Friday as sort of the entity of Friday as like, hey, it's Friday, it's awesome. You know, the work week is over for most people. It's not over for me most of the time. Every other week, it's the last day of the work for me. So, but in terms of TGIF, and Friday is generally considered the most awesome day of the week. I think that Friday, because Friday's positive. Friday's got a lot of enthusiasm. Friday's cool. People look forward to Friday, whereas
the Titanic's dead.
The Titanic is just kind of there, and it's sad and gloomy, and there's still, well, there's probably not anything down, but it's still, like, there's, corpses strewn about. At least at one point there were, and it's just kind of a bummer, and they made a bad movie about it. I mean, I don't know how it wants to
terrible movie.
And for reference, the Titanic set sail on a Wednesday and sunk on a Monday.
But the people on the Titanic, they were enjoying life on Friday.
They were. Can't take that away.
The ship was unsinkable on Friday.
Yeah.
It was underwater on Monday.
But that shows you the power of the calendar conference. They were thinking they just had it all going on for a couple days there, and Monday showed up and said, not so fast, my friend. And that was that. I got to go with Friday in this because Friday, like Andy said, it's got the history. It's got the cool origins. It's got it all. The Titanic is just a boat at the bottom of the ocean with a bunch of skeletons.
I got to say, before we just kind of grace Friday to move along here, Rebecca Black kind of Friday a little bit for everybody. A little bit. Just a tiny, tiny bit. Maybe some people really enjoyed it. I don't know.
That is definitely
because that song is forever associated, at least for the next few years. It's Friday.
Yeah.
Got to get down with Friday.
Is that enough, though?
Got to get down with Friday.
I mean, it's got my vote. I mean,
I got to stick with Friday. I just don't think the Titanic wreckage has enough to really make a serious run here.
Friday moves on.
Friday does move on. I was trying to find what day they found the Titanic on the bottom of the ocean, but I cannot find that.
The 90s, I think. But anyway,
any other way. Friday moves on.
Yes.
Friday moves on to take on. Now, this is an interesting matchup. More interesting than it probably should be. The winner of the 215 matchup. The number 2 seed and reigning champion, the goddamn Batman, takes on the Office Water Cooler.
I'm going to say the Office Water Cooler wins. And here's why.
I don't know.
Here's why. Hear me out. So, when all the bad news about the upcoming Batman versus Superman movie came out, specifically regarding the casting of Batman, where do you think most people discussed it?
Do nerds
on the internet
have water coolers?
Nerds, if they work in offices, yeah, they have water coolers.
I cannot let the goddamn Batman fall to a water cooler.
To an inanimate object?
I just can't do it.
I think that I know the Batman is the knight. I think he is
vengeance. He is the knight.
I think he can take care of a water cooler. I think that the water cooler might in this scenario, if it was like an arena and you put a water cooler and Batman in there, I'm guessing that Batman would just be forced to chug or something the water. I think he could do it.
That's my argument. Batman would show up, chug that water cooler, and say, "What's next?"
I mean, he might die of overhydration and water poisoning, but he wouldn't kind of disappear, and nobody would know where he went. And he'd probably live on. He would die, and then Nightwing or whatever would take over or something.
Right.
Azrael would be Batman. But anyway.
Or Ben Affleck.
But nobody likes Nightwing.
No, but I'm just saying, Batman is kind of an institution, and it could take a fucking water cooler. So I think we got to give the defending champion the benefit of the doubt here to at least go on to the next round, overcome the lowly water cooler from the inanimate object conference, and at least have a chance to redeem its glory against Friday, which is going to be an amazing match.
Yeah, Batman, not as strong as he was last year, but still a number 2 seed, still the defending champion. He's got to move along.
Right, exactly.
All right. So the goddamn Batman moves on. And so to round up my matchups, Walter White will take on the Chewbacca defense. Quizzical Dilophosaurus will take on a deer in your headlights. Norway's curling pants will take on a cat chasing a laser pointer.
That's going to be a real battle.
And the goddamn Batman will attempt to conquer Friday.
Awesome.
That's the matchup of the tournament so far, right there.
That's it. That
is the Charlie Conway Memorial Region.
All right, it is time to move on to the what it means to be a Cleveland Brown region of abject despair. The 8-9 matchup, 2 Miles of Bad Road versus Season 1 of Naked and Afraid.
I've got to think the 2 Miles of Bad Road win, because if you take any of those contestants from Naked and Afraid and put them on 2 Miles of Bad Road, I don't think they make it, honestly.
I think their feet probably get cut up pretty good.
The asphalt's all hot.
Well, it depends on where you are. Yeah, where is this 2 Miles of Bad Road? Is it in a tropical location? Is it in a winter tundra
or a
I'm
desert?
Thinking
perhaps
in West Texas.
West Texas.
2 Miles of Bad Road in West Texas.
Potholes.
And that asphalt's going to be burning their feet.
Yeah, I got to go with the 2 Miles Bad Road there, too.
I'm going to have to... I mean, I don't really know Naked and Afraid that well. I'm kind of ignorant of the show, but...
I will explain it to you really quickly. It sounds like a show we made up on this show. You take two people, you take two people, they take off all their clothes and head into the jungle for 2 weeks.
That sounds terrible.
It is terrible.
But 2 Miles of Bad Road, on the other hand, is it just 2 miles?
Just 2 miles.
Driving over 2 miles of bad road is not pleasant.
Well, if you're driving, sure. But if you're these people and you're
if you're these people, then yeah, sure, absolutely, no, they would be in terrible.
The road would devastate them. I gotta say, in this matchup between the Naked and Afraid people and the road wins.
If you're in a survival situation, though, a road is great. The road will potentially take you to where you want to go.
Potentially,
But I mean, I'm just trying to play, devil's advocate here because I don't really know much. But I would have to go if I had to vote. If I was put to a vote, I would go with road because I feel like 2 Miles of Bad Road is a lot more. It would have the strength to endure the stupid naked idiots.
Okay, then
I gotta go with the road.
2 Miles of Bad Road moves along. All right, so let me see here. Okay, the 7-10 matchup, number 10 seed, March Madness 12 brackets guy. Taking on Share If You're a Patriot Facebook post.
It's got to be the Share If You're a Patriot Facebook post guy. Those guys, the things that get put out on those Facebook pages, like I trust me, I love America just as much as anybody else. But the bald eagle firework, kill the Arabs bullshit that comes out of those pages. It just is too much. It's overbearing.
Trump's birth certificate, like if you're American, don't like if you're a neo-Nazi.
Right. All I've found out is that I really hate America, I guess, and I'm afraid to share these posts. That's what they do to me.
Agree with my political opinion, or you are a terrorist.
Exactly.
Then again,
I don't have Facebook, and I'm not an American, but
the point.
Share if you're a Canadian.
Yeah, it works in Canada too, Mike. This one plays in all countries.
Better than ketchup.
Share if you're a Canadian. Tim Hortons is great, eh? But no, it's or like a beaver in front of some like fireworks.
A beaver riding a caribou.
But the sentiment behind that whole Share If You're a Patriot thing really bugs me. I gotta say, I'm trying to decide if the annoyance is a detriment or to the advantage. Like, is the annoyance enough to overcome 12 Brackets Guy, or does 12
Brackets Guy? Luckily for 12 Brackets Guy, normally their involvement in the NCAA tournament ends after the first weekend. Mm-hmm. By the end of the first weekend, all 12 of their brackets are busted, and they go away pretty quick.
Well,
it's a short but very concentrated burst.
I don't think it would annoy Brackets Guy because he's already a tool. Because he created 12 brackets.
Sure.
So he's probably
Brackets Guy might even like Share If You're a Patriot on Facebook.
He would see that status and be like, well, hell, that's true. And in between his 13th and 14th bracket, he would then like the status or whatever and be like, well, I'm a patriot. He would sleep more soundly at night.
Yeah.
Would he share the post and thus not be a patriot and thus be defeated by the page?
I think he would. I think he would.
Think he would share the post?
Absolutely, because
if he's making 12 brackets, he's sharing the post.
12 brackets. That's ridiculous. If it was like 3 or 4, I could maybe see where he would not post that. But 12, guy's a total tool. He would totally share it. I think he would overcome.
But here, I guess, if he's sharing it, does that mean that share the Facebook thing wins?
No, because it's a battle, kind of an annoyance here. It's like annoyance versus annoyance. So basically, we have to judge between the three of us which is the more annoying. I would have to say because it's just like, dude, it's not even. That's against the whole spirit of the nature of filling out a bracket. Mm-hmm. Whereas the like if you're a patriot thing, it's like, well, you're just a moron.
Well, is the 12 bracket guy just doing it for fun, or is he doing 12 brackets because he wants to be the guy to win the $1 billion?
He's doing 12 brackets because he wants to be the guy that at some point in the proceedings can say, my number 8 brackets got this many teams left. That's his reasoning behind it. There's no money involved. It's just that guy that, and believe me, we can go to the boards and find 15 of them right now that are doing the exact same thing. But yeah, that's what he is. Yeah.
All right.
Brackets guy. I feel like he's just too what big asshole. It's like, come on.
Yeah, brackets guy, and it goes back to what Andy said. 12 brackets guy is probably liking those Patriot images. So in that sense, he's consumed his competitor and become like an omega entity, alpha and omega entity of annoyance.
So Brackets guy moves on.
Brackets guy moves on.
Okay.
Brackets guy moves on.
All right. In the 6-11 matchup, the Bacon Bowl, the number 11 seed, takes on listener submission, Japanese Ronald McDonald.
I got to look up Japanese Ronald McDonald just to be sure.
Oh, well, no, you can't just look at. You have to see the video of Japanese Ronald McDonald.
Okay. Well, I will play it.
If you go to YouTube,
I see it here. I've got it on mute here. I'm just kind of watching it.
You can play it on, if you can get it through to play on the air, play it on the air here. No. No, not there.
Anyway, it's Japanese Ronald McDonald guy. He's truly unpredictable. He's a wild card if there were.
Okay, here's the music. Yes.
No. Oh, there you go.
There was something.
Okay, I can't watch that shit. That's
all right.
Too annoying. I mean, but basically,
you got to fast forward a little bit. The beginning is hard to get through.
There's like, he's in like a jumpsuit and he's like dancing extremely fast.
He's in a jumpsuit?
At some point, this is
that's awesome. Okay,
7 million views. I mean, this is gotta be it. I mean,
that's it.
What is it taking on again?
He is taking on
the Bacon Bowl.
Is the Bacon Bowl like a food?
Have you not seen this infomercial?
It's a bowl that's made out of bacon.
It's a plastic. You get this plastic mold, and you wrap bacon around this, inverted cup, and then you bake it, and it comes out, and it's a bowl
made out of bacon.
I got to go Bacon Bowl then, because the Japanese Ronald McDonald, although creepy and strange, the Bacon Bowl, I don't think he would know what to do with it. I mean,
I'm going to vote for Japanese Ronald McDonald on religious grounds.
Well, that makes sense, I guess. The Bacon Bowl, I think, if it was just sitting there and Japanese McDonald was kind of there, I think he would like put it on his head. I don't think he would know what to do with it. He might poop in it.
Well, it's not that big. It's like the size of a cupcake.
Sure, but at the same time, it's kind of like, well, I just think that I personally, if I had to choose, I mean, these things are tiny though. They are tiny.
They're quite.
But they look tasty. The things you could do with them.
Oh, I mean, bacon on its own is tasty.
Yeah, but as a bowl, what does the Japanese Ronald McDonald do for anyone?
I know it scares children.
I guess it's not the nature of this competition, but I mean, I guess if we were to physically have one fight the other, then obviously Japanese Ronald McDonald would smash the Bacon Bowl and eat it and probably pee on it.
I think if there was a physical altercation, I think the Bacon Bowl might actually come out on top in this case. But it's
explain your reasoning.
Explain my reasoning.
I guess I don't know.
I'm not voting for the Bacon Bowl. I think that Japanese Ronald McDonald is too much of a wild card. He's all over the place. He's unpredictable. A bacon bowl, you know what you're going to get. It's a bowl made out of bacon. And maybe you might say you don't know how crispy it's actually going to be, what the structural integrity of the bowl is. But you don't need to know that because you're going to eat it. Japanese Ronald McDonald. Oh, man, he can do just about anything. I think he's actually going to be a very strong contender in this tournament, and that's who's getting my vote for this matchup.
And, Mike, you picked Japanese Ronald McDonald on religious reasoning, so I guess Japanese Ronald McDonald moves on.
All right.
Okay, so...
Let's see how it plays out.
We now move on to the 5-12 matchup. The number 12 seed, the Amish Mafia, taking on number 5 seed, Dick Vitale's Glass Eye.
Give me some background on the Amish Mafia.
Have you never seen the Amish Mafia?
Is it a show?
It sounds
like a show on Discovery Channel.
I'm noticing a trend that there's a lot of Discovery History Channel stuff in my bracket. That was not intentional.
I just don't watch as much TV as I used to. I mean, I watch like Game of Thrones and maybe that other thing.
I don't watch it either, but I know of it and what it consists of.
Exactly.
And Amish Mafia would smash Dick Vitale's Glass Eye.
Would it?
Because they didn't churn enough butter. Or
I am ignorant as to the show Amish Mafia, but I thought the Amish had a strict policy of nonviolence.
Well, that's what the Mafia is there for.
That's what the Mafia is there for. The Mafia enforces for the nonviolent Amish.
So it would pluck out his glass eye just out of his head.
Oh, yeah.
And just throw it upon the ground.
And stomp on it.
Yep.
And put it in a butter churner. And
what else is there to talk about? I mean, I think that the Amish Mafia, if that's the case, if these are truly ruthless men who are not limited by their Amish, religious connections or what have you.
No, they're not afraid to use a flashlight.
Then they would they would pop it right out and just crush it and turn it into
and then they'd walk away saying, "How do you like that, English?"
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they would probably say it in Pennsylvania Dutch.
Right.
I mean,
they would say it in some weird.
They would pop his eye out, smash it in front of him, and hop it back in their buggy and take off.
So I mean, that's to me, that's show one right there. Just bam, bam, bam. Just go. It's moved on.
We have a number 12-5. We have a number 12 knocking off a number 5 seed, an upset here, and what it means to be a Cleveland Brown region of abject despair. And we move on to the number 4-13 matchup, which is number 13, Space Chimp with a newspaper versus the number 4 seed, the OJ Verdict.
This is the first chimp we've had to discuss here.
Yes.
So Space Chimp is it reading a newspaper? Or it has?
He has a picture of a newspaper with himself on it from having just returned from outer space.
The chimp's been to outer space. That's got to add a whole new level of experience the chimp has going into this matchup.
So he's not in outer space now.
No,
but he's been there, so he knows how to thrive and survive under pressure.
Actually, he should be called Astronaut Chimp with a newspaper. He's actually an astronaut.
So he's wearing full astronaut regalia.
Absolutely.
Looking at a picture of himself in a newspaper.
Holding it up, Dewey defeats Truman style, holding it up, showing off a picture of himself. Coming back from outer space. His successful space flight.
If he was still in space, I would give him the immediate advantage because maybe he's got access to military satellites. Maybe he could, there's a bit more he could do in space. I feel like his absence from the Earth's crust would help his mobility, zero gravity.
However, I think just based on the matchup, I think the chimp has the advantage because the OJ verdict, while impactful at the time, OJ's now been convicted on something else and is in jail for a very long time. What sort of impact does the OJ verdict have in today's world, where a chimp from newly fresh off of a space trip with himself in the newspaper would be?
Well, I mean, if we're talking bigger news, like I don't know if this was the original chimp. I'm assuming it's not the original chimp that was sent into space.
I believe he was.
There were multiple chimps sent into space, and a spider monkey, I think.
Well, like Russia sent like dogs and stuff like that.
Russia sent dogs, but the dogs never made it back alive.
That's cool.
Mother Russia, just showing just how brutal Mother Russia can be, did not give the dogs enough oxygen for the return trip. Because. The
chimp, I don't think it would. Okay, I mean, if we're just battling in terms of cultural relevance, then obviously, I think the O.J. Simpson trial transcended so much. I mean, that in and of itself.
It became reality TV. It became one of the first reality TV programs.
It was reality TV before reality TV was a thing. and it changed the way that news was broadcast in the world. But if we're just talking, I don't think one-on-one, I don't think the chimp would give a shit. The chimp is fascinated with itself. It has just come back from space. It has clearly learned to circumnavigate a shuttle or some sort of capsule
around the Earth.
Orbited the fucking planet, yes, and has lived to tell the tale. It has the advantage of a newspaper it can use as a weapon of some sort. Whereas the O.J. Simpson trial, I feel like while it's important to look how happy he is. I mean, that monkey is clearly delighted. He's.
I think he's got a little bit of a kind of a little bit of an attitude going on in that picture.
Like look at these nuts right here. I'm the badass chimp that went
exactly.
to space.
But really, his only accomplishment is simply living. As the headline says, Space Chimp lives.
Which is more than you can say about OJ's wife.
Oh,
that is a very compelling argument.
I mean, that's not even an argument; it's a fact. I mean, OJ's wife was fucking
It's a very damning fact. Let's say.
I mean,
but again, if we go to our previous region, the Chewbacca defense led to the verdict. So really. Is it really the verdict that's important here, or how we got to the result?
This is true. The verdict is not as important as the event itself, whereas the chimp going into space, I would say, in terms of just a singular event, space chimp. I guess. I mean, it's a very tough decision for me because I feel like the OJ thing was incredibly fascinating, but space chimp.
I'm going to lay down the first vote. I got to go with space chimp.
Space chimp.
Space chimp with the 3
All right.
Good argument though. It was a good matchup, real tight.
The chimp conference moves on.
All right.
And a surprised to know what was that 13 seed. Okay, I got to keep track of my
another 13 seed?
Yeah, 13 seed, another upset.
Only in the glorious tournament of victory can you expect the highest seeds to fall very quickly.
All right, where are we here? 4-13. We are at the 3-14 matchup, right?
What did you just do? 4-13? No, 6-11.
No, I already did 6-11. Bacon. That was. I'm doing 8-9 and going backwards. I didn't start with the number 1 seed. Okay, so let me mark down the winner here really quick. So we Bacon Bowl. Who won between Bacon Bowl? Japanese Ronald McDonald, right?
Japanese Ronald McDonald.
All right, Space Chimp with newspaper. The Amish Mafia. All right. Nice. The next one is number 14 seed, The Lowdown, against number 3 seed, 5 Drunken Somali Pirates at a county fair.
Somali Pirates.
Somali Pirates. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be vicious, and there's not going to be anything left.
I mean, it's one thing if you have starving Somali pirates like stuck on the open sea, maybe on a crappy boat, but you put them in a county fair where they have all sorts of access to like just sugary treats. You get a Somali pirate full of funnel cake. I mean, there's God knows what they could do.
Well, let's not forget also they could go to one of the games of chance and win plastic swords, plastic guns, plastic lots of things.
County fair, they could buy a legit knife. They could buy swords, depending on what kind of county fair this is. Maybe even guns or exotic animals. You don't know.
This is true.
Some county fairs are really, really weird. Then again, they might just take over like the tilt-a-wheel or something.
Well, but if you put those Somali pirates on the swinging pirate ship, they would commandeer that vessel.
Either that or create a paradox of some sort. But either way, it's an interesting point.
I just think the Somali pirates. I mean, what is the Lowdown? I don't know. Is that another show that I'm missing out on?
No, it's just the Lowdown. Like you've got the Lowdown on this. What's the Lowdown on that? It's the Lowdown.
Well, they don't. Well, the Somali pirates are different. They want to know what you have aboard your vessel and how quickly they can take it.
And really, Somali pirates, they're not even just on the lowdown; they're on the down low. They're below that. They're trying to keep things under the radar.
That's true.
So
Somali pirates, just too many variables working in their favor. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be a bloodbath. They take it easy.
Somali pirates move on.
All right, I like it.
The number 3 seed stays alive. Number 2 seed. The Polar Vortex versus number 15 seed, Action Figure Evel Knievel. I think this is an easy one.
I think the Polar Vortex is so cold that Action Figure Evel Knievel becomes brittle and breaks. And breaks after one motorcycle jump.
I think if we're going to do that, I think Evel Knievel, in a Polar Vortex, would he even get his motorcycle to start?
No.
Like, this is actual Evel Knievel himself, not the action figure.
The action figure. Well, if you're using the action figure motorcycle, then it's a non-starter.
Not. I mean, the motorcycle itself would fail. I mean, the action figure, especially in older, it's almost like a doll.
And he doesn't look like he's very well insulated.
No, he has on his white Elvis-style suit, and that's it.
Right, his white silky suit. That's not very warm.
Even hypothetically, could it jump the polar vortex? I would feel like that would be the only way it could conquer it. Would be to jump.
Well, no, it would have to jump 2/3 of the country to do that.
Well, then I mean, there we go. I mean, there's your argument. I don't think it could jump the polar vortex, much less endure it. I feel like. I mean, it just ran into a buzzsaw there of the polar vortex. Polar vortex has to move on.
I concur. Polar vortex.
Okay, and that brings us to the one that I'm really worried about here. Number 16 seed, the Comfort Wipe, taking on last year's runner-up in the tournament, number 1 seed, Chimp Bartender.
Ooh. Comfort Wipe. I think the Comfort Wipe wins, and here's why. The Chimp Bartender is intrigued by the Comfort Wipe. He picks it up. After exploring potential uses, he discovers its one true use. But being a chimp, he doesn't know restraint. And the chimp, quote-unquote, impales himself on the Comfort Wipe.
He kills himself.
Impales himself.
Well, here's my thought process with it. If he's a bartender chimp, he's good with utensils, I believe.
This is true.
And chimps are also known for flinging their feces.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
This is correct.
I would think that he would see how the Comfort Wipe is supposed to work, and where it does a little suction on the paper or your toilet paper, and then you use that to wipe your ass. I think he would then instead remove the paper, use the suction on his own ass, and then fling feces, thus conquering the wipe.
Now, here's my thing. I think that because he's a primitive being, he would figure out how it would work. But I feel like he wouldn't really know. So he'd do like Zach said. He would put it up to his ass, press the plunger, and suck poop into the thing. But then he would eat it. I feel like he his own piece because he thinks the thing's like a big spoon. So he would eat his own filth. He would either choke to death or be poisoned by consuming his own
We've had some ridiculous matchups in our 2 years now of this glorious tournament. This, however,
that's just my thoughts.
This takes the cake.
Is that not a plausible argument?
I think it is.
It is very.
If Chimp Bartender has to go down in an upset, it's got to be because of that argument, I think.
Fair enough. I mean,
the vote's up to you, Andy.
I've already said I got to go. I think it would be his undoing. He would just poop. He would die. He would choke, or he would just get sick. I mean, bartender or not, he may be trained to make drinks, but I mean, no monkey can turn down free poop.
He's a bartender. Could he not use the alcohol to kill the bacteria from the poop?
He would just chug it. I mean, he doesn't know any better.
But he's a bartender. He's not supposed to be drinking.
He did last year. Monkey bartender drank his own wares. I mean, for all his faults, he's still a monkey. I mean,
Well, I think that's 2-1.
Comfort Wipe moves on. Chimp Bartender, last year's runner-up.
Stunning upset.
Goes down in the first round. I tell you what, you do not want the number 1 seed in the what it means to be a Cleveland Brown region. 2 years in a row now, the number 1 seed has fallen in the first round.
Crazy.
And that does it, guys. That's it.
What are our matchups going in round 2?
All right, if I'm doing this right, it will be Comfort Wipe taking on 2 Miles of Bad Road.
Uh-huh.
The Amish Mafia will take on Astronaut Chimp with a newspaper. Japanese Ronald McDonald takes on 5 drunken Somali pirates at a county fair.
That's good.
And Polar Vortex will take on March Madness 15 brackets guy or 12 brackets guy.
Polar Vortex might have an easy path to the Final Four.
What a stupid thing this is.
All righty.
Arguing the merits of a chimpanzee. It's also a bartender.
Just like
against an ass wiper.
It's just like the Polar Vortex, really. Made me laugh. All right, are we on the Chubbs Peterson?
We are under the Chubbs Peterson, whatever you call it, bracket. Yes,
Chubbs Memorial. We're going to work our way up from the bottom, go from 215 up to the top. Okay, so we'll start with the 2 versus the 15 here. Number 2 seed, potentially overrated, 1980s mustachioed cocaine dealer going against the 15 seed Yarmer Yager's vintage Penguins mullet.
I got to think that staying power alone, the mullet, it just is hung around. It's still made. People still make fun of it to this day. The mustache, not so much.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to go with the mullet. I think the mullet's just too iconic.
Yeah,
mullet is quite iconic. Mustache is.
But I mean, it's not even his mustache. He's a 1980s mustachioed cocaine dealer.
Oh, this is true. We're not just talking about the mustache, are we?
No, he's a cocaine dealer. He's just from he's from the 80s and he has a mustache.
would Yarmir Yager in a mullet get cocaine?
I would think so.
I have to think at least a little bit of cocaine went into the decision to rock that mullet.
Yeah. I'm leaning the other way now. I think that the cocaine dealer probably sold cocaine to a lot of players that wore mullets back then. So,
I mean,
I know cocaine was big in the NBA, but
I mean, you can't look at that and tell me cocaine was not involved. I mean, come on.
I don't know if that's cocaine. That might be something else.
Whoa.
If it's cocaine, he might have just chopped it all off.
So you guys decide.
I got to go with the mullet.
The mullet's just too iconic to me. When I think Yarmir Yager, I think that mullet.
Okay, so number 15 takes down number 2. No surprise here. 80s mustachioed cocaine dealer, overrated, played his way into the tournament as a 2. He falls. Moving up, the Yarmir Yager vintage Penguins mullet will take on the winner of this matchup. Number 7, Dennis Nedry's Jurassic Park hacker code versus the 10 seed Drunken Gorilla astride a penny farthing. Penny farthing is the bicycle with the large wheel in the front, small wheel in the back, which is usually from like silent films in the 90s.
Okay, here's my argument against the code. Samuel L. Jackson's character just shut everything off and was able to get right past it, no problem. Now, granted, it took a little work to shut everything down and turn it back on, but that's all it took to beat that code.
That is a good point. It's an iconic code. It's a quotable code, but it was too easily bypassed when all is said and done. At least in theory, all you had to do was shut the power off. Meanwhile, that gorilla on that penny farthing,
that's a sight to behold, folks.
That gorilla just okay. You know that when that gorilla's riding that little bicycle, he just owns everything. He doesn't care. He's just riding, and he knows he's the top of the world. I got to go for the gorilla.
Don't forget he's drunk. I'm just saying.
All the better.
Yeah. Oh, I'm full marks to the gorilla. That's that. I'm sorry. No, gorilla.
Okay, we got another upset. 10 takes down a 7. Drunken Gorilla astride a penny farthing will take on this vintage Penguins mullet. Okay, we're going on to the number 3-14 here. Number 14, a lumberjack eating hotcakes will take on the number 3 seed, Daniel Day-Lewis's acting ability. Pretty one-sided matchup here, I think, but let's see what you guys decide.
I think Daniel Day-Lewis playing a lumberjack could eat the pancakes better than the actual lumberjack.
That's a really good argument.
You know that Daniel Day-Lewis would spend, months studying that lumberjack and his method so that when he got to the set to play the part, he would just become the lumberjack. He would become the lumberjack.
Just dress up as a lumberjack and go to the local IHOP. He would be a lumberjack for 9 months.
Right, and
cutting
he would
down trees.
He would insist that you only refer to him as a lumberjack.
Yes.
Do not call him by his real name. He would eat nothing but pancakes. Just similar to when he did My Left Foot, he made everyone on the set feed him. He would not eat unless they fed him because his character couldn't eat, so he didn't eat. So yeah, you got to go with Daniel Day-Lewis in this one.
Yeah, easily. It's not even close.
Came in as a strong 3 seed here, so no surprise that Daniel Day-Lewis's acting ability moves on. He will face the winner of this matchup. Could make for a potentially interesting second round matchup. Fucking Satan takes on Tom Selleck's chest hair, 6 versus an 11.
Okay, Satan. Satan's. I don't want to make light of. I don't want to make light of Satan's season. You know, every year he comes in strong, but
comes in with a 66-6 record.
It goes to hell every season for Satan, though.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I look back to the first ever matchup, big matchup Satan had when the Archangel Michael threw him out of heaven. And, you know, Satan has always been a choker since then. When it comes down to it, since he went down in that matchup, you know, the lights shine brightest and he just wilts under the pressure.
But against Tom
Selleck's chest hair, probably not an agent of Satan, probably just crafted by God himself.
So you're saying that it's a holy manifestation, the chest hair of Tom Selleck.
Well, with Tom Selleck, I know for a fact that the mustache has been created by the hands of God.
Indeed, this is fact.
But does that same quality then also spread itself to the rest of his bodily hair?
That is up to the council. That is up for you guys to decide.
This is a question to consider. Okay, could the average man recreate Tom Selleck's mustache?
No,
but. Could the average man,
yes.
and I'm going to use an example here, an example that we've talked about quite a bit on this show of late, Paul Stanley's chest hair, not entirely different than Tom Selleck's chest hair. There's that to think about.
There is that. I got to go with Satan. Just, you know.
I just don't see the Lord of Darkness being beaten by something that Paul Stanley can do. So there you go.
All right. Well, I mean, and we'll see if Satan can be taken down by Daniel Day-Lewis's acting ability. Round 2. Okay.
I think Daniel Day-Lewis could play one hell of a Satan.
We will find out. The fans will decide.
The fans.
How many people vote for Satan? Number 4, a chimpanzee in a 1997 Chevy Malibu takes on a morbidly obese hoarder. 13 seed morbidly obese hoarder.
Could the chimp in the Malibu bust through the amount of hoard that this obese hoarder has? I would have to think so, because normally hoarders they're not hoarding bricks.
No,
it's usually hoarding stacks of newspaper.
Right.
And I think a chimp, he's drunk. Yes.
This is unknown.
Oh, he's just
driving the Malibu.
Should we wait for Mike to come back, by the way? Because he's apparently gone.
No, I'm here. I'm back.
Oh, okay. Hey, Mike. All right, continue.
I don't think I think a chimp driving a car, not exactly the greatest restraint.
No, he's untrained.
He would hit the gas pedal quite hard, bust through those stacks of newspapers, and take this hoarder head on. But that's assuming that the hoarder's not buried over anything and he just over the hill of hoarding.
I mean, I have to say, those hoarders, they when you confront them, they get defensive, they get angry. It's pretty tough to stare one of those, you know, riled up hoarders down. So I don't know. I don't think it's an easy win.
I don't think the chimp cares about staring down the hoarder. He just wants to get through the house in his car. That's all he's worried about. That's his main concern. He blasts on through, and so what? You want to keep all your newspapers? I don't care. As long as I can get through your house, that's all I'm worried about. I'm going with the chimp.
Is that the vote conclusive then?
I got to go with the chimp. I'm looking through some pictures of hoarders. I still got to go with the chimp, though.
I mean, chimp obviously gets the novelty vote here, but if we're talking about a chimpanzee driving through, let's say he had to drive through the home of the, I don't think the car would make it. But, I mean, we're talking about a chimpanzee that can drive.
Right.
So, but it would if it was in a chase, then clearly it would win because the obese hoarder would not, first of all, would not be able to move, and second of all, it would be like stuck within its home.
But let me throw this in. An obese hoarder still has to get around, right? There still has to be paths.
Not necessarily. That was that
through...
story of that woman that melded into her couch.
Oh, well.
Yes. There have been worse.
That and, you know, the easy wipe. So,
comfort
wipe. But the comfort wipe.
I don't think we're going to see morbidly obese hoarder taking on comfort wipe. anytime soon.
Oh, but those two are made for each other.
It probably Obi's Hoarder probably owns one. Yes,
exactly. Probably owns several.
Could they find it?
No.
I'm sticking with the chimp. I think the chimp just barrels right through there, and that's that.
Okay. Is that consensus?
Sure.
Okay.
I got to go with it, yeah.
Whatever. All right, here we go. Number 5 versus 12. Number 12, trio of Cadbury Cream Eggs takes on the 5 seed Cruncha Muncha Subway Jingle. Cruncha Muncha, Cruncha Muncha.
It's got to be the eggs. Zach already touched on it. They're delicious. They're fulfilling. You can't beat them.
So you don't want Fritos on your sub? Then I take it.
I don't.
No, I don't.
Fritos on my sub.
No, I don't want Fritos on my sub.
I don't know why this is making me laugh so much. So there's not even going to be an argument for the Crunch Muncha then?
No.
Cadbury
probably
eggs.
the most overrated team in the tournament thus far.
To be fair, the Tubbs Peterson Council was drunk when this was put together.
Okay.
Okay, now it is time for a potentially interesting conversation here between the Noid of Domino's fame. The Noid, let me pull up his image here for you, gentlemen.
Avoid the Noid.
Yes, you want to avoid the Noid. He's just sort of a thing. He was a 90s Domino's pizza institution.
I remember playing his computer game in grade 3.
He'll be taking on the uncomfortable clown-themed VHS porn.
I don't know how anything overcomes that porno.
The porn, it's going to make the Noid uncomfortable. It's going to make everyone uncomfortable. And it will avoid the Noid.
It will. It will just wither lesser competitors down by its mere presence.
What was the Noid's function?
He stole pizzas.
He stole pizzas.
Domino's pizzas.
But
why was he called the Noid?
I don't know.
The Noid, okay, here's what it basically says in Wikipedia. The Noid was a physical manifestation of all the challenges inherent in getting a pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less. So it was it was short for annoyed. Get it? Like you're annoyed. The Noid was created in 1986. So yeah, so the annoyance in getting a pizza in 30 minutes or less, since that was Domino's big thing. I don't know why discussing this. Who gives a shit?
Ancient astronaut theorists suggest that the Noid could possibly, while delivering pizzas, once he's done with his day, go home and watch uncomfortable clown porn. So there is that.
The Noid looks like someone that would watch uncomfortable clown porn.
In fact, he looks like someone that may participate in it, for that matter.
This is true.
I don't know. The Noid's making a comeback here a little bit.
I gotta go with the uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean that porn is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, I don't know who can stand up to it.
Well, and if the Noid will participate in it, that just shows you how powerful it really is.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So there you go.
All right, clown porn moves on. Now, I just kind of want to hear how this matchup goes here. Mother Russia, fan choice, number one seed of this bracket, taking on number 16 winner of the play-in against the dirt-eating, emaciated train car hobo, terminally ill Make-A-Wish child.
How many terminally ill children has Mother Russia killed?
Oh,
Vladimir Putin doesn't give a crap about this child's last Make-A-Wish Foundation wish.
No,
exactly.
In fact, if the kid said, "Well, I want to, do spring training with the Angels," Putin would say, "No, you would like to ride horseback with me, bare-shirted."
And then be left in the
Russian
woods,
countryside,
and be left in the woods to die. That's that.
Mm-hmm. I will wrestle tiger and then feed you to tiger.
Yep. Mother Russia in a rout. Mother Russia in a rout.
I'm sorry what I just said, you guys. I'm sorry about that.
God damn it. I like how it says clowns fucking in the circus letters on the back.
Oh, God.
I'm really proud.
I like that there's a horn.
You know what,
gentlemen? This is
Fred the Wonder Chicken.
This is going to be the picture that we will use on the website.
Oh no!
I mean, just the cover with the two.
You can just cut out the cover.
I will.
Don't use the backside.
I won't.
I love their dedication to the clown aesthetic, the theme. They didn't pull any punches. They went full on clown circus fonts.
I like how there's all these people in clown suits, and then in the bottom right picture, there's a guy in a suit. What is he there for?
God, is it just my eyes, or does he look a little bit like Bryan Cranston?
Don't be. This is a bonus edition with Fred the Wonder Chicken.
Fred the Wonder. I'm wondering how Fred the Wonder Chicken didn't make the. But you know what? I'll bet you he'll be a serious contender next year.
It's sexy. It's zany. It's like a train wreck that you just can't pry your eyes away from. It's clown porn the movie, and it's taking the world by storm.
I don't know what Fred the Wonder Chicken is. Google has not returned anything.
Fred the Treat yourself to this comic free-for-all where anything goes. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll shoot your wad, and then ask yourself, am I dreaming this?
Oh, my God.
The best part is it says copyright 2005. This looks like it's from the 90s, but no.
It's a Ramco production.
Ah.
The chick in the middle is apparently dildoing herself with a
balloon animal. Anyway, back to the matchup at hand.
So,
Mother Russia and
I think Fred the Wonder Chicken is going to be my new avatar, guys.
Just to summarize the tournament here, number 10, Drunken Gorilla astride a penny farthing. Penny farthing takes on Yarmer Yager's vintage Penguins mullet.
That'll be interesting.
Number 6, fucking Satan takes on Daniel Day-Lewis's acting ability.
Strong.
Trio of Cadbury Cream Eggs takes on Chimpanzee in a 97 Malibu.
I think that's a no contest.
Yeah.
And Mother Russia takes on uncomfortable clown-themed VHS porno.
But Mother Russia might be looking at an upset here.
We'll see. The tournament.
I don't know. It all depends. How do you think Vladimir Putin reacts to the clown porn?
That's the question.
Uh-huh.
Maybe into it. We don't know.
Well, you know how many carnies live in Russia?
No.
It's like all gypsies and circuses.
None of those people are carnies or gypsies.
It will be a question that the listeners will answer.
Yeah.
It's out of our hands now.
Yes, probably not the worst thing.
The Sentinel Prime Memorial Region of Excellence. So we're going to start at the bottom. 8 versus 9. Fox Mulder's I Want to Believe poster takes on former planet Pluto.
The poster versus the planet.
See, I believe that former planet Pluto would own this poster because he wants to believe he's still a planet.
I mean, I have to think that after losing his status as a planet, Pluto's out to prove to the world that he's still got it.
Well, did you know, I didn't even know this till yesterday, but did you know that Pluto went from the time that it was first discovered to the time it was declassified as a planet, did not even make one full orbit around the sun?
Well, doesn't it take something like 587 years for it to go around once?
It's got a very long orbit and a very weird orbit.
Right.
So what are the advantages of this poster? Like, what is it? What are its strengths?
Yeah.
It inspires Fox Mulder to continue his crusade against conspiracies and to always search for his sister, Samantha, I think her name was.
Okay, so that is taking on a former planet.
A former planet that's out to prove that it can still hang with the big boys.
That is basically just a giant ice ball.
Well, I will say
not
this.
all that giant.
Something to think about. The Fox Mulder poster probably inspired the Ancient Aliens guy at some point. So I'm just theorizing here, as ancient astronaut theorists are prone to do. The Fox Mulder I Want to Believe poster may have inspired the entire Ancient Aliens series. That's pretty big stuff.
It's very likely, I would say. Very likely.
I have a soft spot in my heart for Pluto. I do.
Yeah.
I'm sad to hear of its demotion.
I still don't accept its demotion.
But if I don't know how it's still in Division 1. I don't know how it made the tournament. It should be a Division 2 planet in the
planetary
what is
conference.
that? The Oort Cloud Conference. I gotta go
like
with
the Sun Belt,
I want to go with or what would it be in the Kuiper Belt? I don't know. What the hell's that thing?
Yeah, the Kuiper Belt. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a second tier conference. Let's be honest here. It's holding on to a lot of old traditions, but conference realignment is going to claim it soon. It's not big enough to run with the big boys like Jupiter and Saturn and the like. I got to go with the I Want to Believe poster.
Greg?
I'm going with the poster too, just because of the ancient aliens theory. I think that, and if you think that's exactly what happened, Andy, I've got to give that the endorsement. I'm going with the poster. The poster can inspire many things.
I'll give Pluto a vote just out of just
a pity vote.
Yeah, just kind of respect. It's like all right. Pluto.
All right. So the poster moves on.
Yes.
All right. So next up. Number 7 seed will take on number 10 seed. Rob Ford's Crack Pipe takes on Alex Jones's Paranoia.
Well, Alex Jones, extremely paranoid individual. He may smoke crack.
Probably.
He may smoke crack cocaine, or he probably does cocaine. He probably has connections to the '80s mustachio drug dealer.
Yes,
which is not a good. It's not a good connection to have because obviously we saw how weak that was. But then again, this is Rob Ford's Crack Pipe, not a stranger. None of these three are strangers to one another. But if I think the Crack Pipe would have the advantage because it doesn't showcase the fear. And look how brazen Ford was about it. He's like, I smoke crack. What are you going to fucking do about it?
That's true. Well, that is true.
But do we know how extensively the crack pipe was used? Was it just used in a drunken stupor, as he said? Or is it a well-used crack pipe?
I'm guessing quite early here.
This is something I want to throw out there.
Yes, go ahead.
If Alex Jones smoked Rob Ford's crack pipe, it would make him more paranoid. So that's the question. Does Alex Jones' paranoia make him a stronger opponent or a weaker one?
Weaker. I think that crack would make him far more paranoid. It would eat him alive. Like
That's what I'm thinking too.
Crack pipe.
I gotta go along with that line of thinking too. And I just think it's Rob Ford's crack pipe can't go out in the first round like that.
No,
he's too strong and stubborn a competitor. And I mean, he got called out for the crack pipe. There have been many a call to take him out of office, but Rob Ford and his crack pipe have not moved. They're standing strong, and I believe this carries over to this tournament.
In fact, his numbers are still much better than they have any right to be in terms of approval ratings.
Well, there you go. Crack pipe moves on.
Crack pipe.
Okay, so next up, number 6 seed, Megatron, Emperor of Destruction, takes on the number 11 seed, a VHS collection of the original unedited Star Wars trilogy.
I think it is unquestionable that the original unedited versions of Star Wars are the best versions of Star Wars.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Correct. That is correct. But I mean,
now Megatron has undergone many different revisions.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Much like Star Wars.
However,
I still got that stupid clown porn picture staring in the face.
I have to go with the original trilogy in its unedited form.
Go ahead, Mike.
Just something for consideration. Megatron's fusion cannon is actually powered by a black hole.
So look, basically, this is a challenge to us to put aside our nostalgia and take hold in common sense. Because obviously, if Megatron was a real thing, and we put it into an arena environment against a trinity of awesome VHS tapes, it would fucking obliterate the tapes. There would be nothing left. It would disintegrate them. I mean, obviously, Star Wars will always live forever in our hearts, but the VHS tapes.
Also, Megatron might be operating under orders from George Lucas to destroy the unedited original versions, so that only his edited versions remain.
I can't see Optimus Prime. It's a terrible misunderstanding. Megatron falling to a set of VHS. I love the original Star Wars. It is the best. But in terms of just common sense, I cannot put a thing that has a black hole as a fucking weapon, over. Have it lay down for some awesome tapes.
Two things to think about here.
True.
First off, a black hole, if he's powered by a black hole, that means he is more powerful than a black hole. Black holes are things that are considered that they can.
Well, he's not powered by the black hole. His weapon is powered by the black hole.
Still, the point remains. Black holes are thought to maybe bend time. They are considered one of the most powerful things in the universe. And we're talking 3 VHS tapes here. The black hole, just the magnetic force alone would erase the tapes. So that's that.
There you go.
But by the same token.
Oh.
Not by the same token. But to look at it a different way, you've got to think that those original trilogy tapes are in high demand these days because you can't get them anymore.
Would he
also
not want to exploit them for their money value?
Or does Megatron watch the tapes, and is he so moved by the brilliance of the original Star Wars films that he reforms his ways?
Well, no, because he's still got to sit through Return of the Jedi. So,
Yeah,
Sit through.
Well, he still has to sit through the Ewok part. Okay.
Wow.
Well, I'm okay. I would argue that if he was forced to watch them, he'd be better off than he was. He'd be like, all right, cool, that was a great Trinity. If we're talking about the episode 1, 2, and 3, then he would kill himself. Then he would commit suicide.
Absolutely.
Episode 1, 2, and 3 are never getting anywhere near this tournament.
But I'm just saying, if he was forced to watch 1, 2, and 3, he would kill himself. Mm-hmm. And then the tournament would go to 1, or then the round would go to 1, 2, 3. But 4, 5, 6, I think he'd be like, oh, that's pretty damn good. That's awesome. And he might learn to think. He might have a newfound appreciation for Death Stars and things of that nature. But I just don't. I can't. I got to go with Megatron.
And just let me clarify really quickly that Return of the Jedi is great, but it got a little too cute a few times with the Ewok thing. Other than that, no issues with it at all. I'm with Megatron. He erases the tapes. That's it.
Okay, Megatron advances. This is what I think. This I think is the matchup of this region in the opening rounds. I don't see anything else really matching this one. Number 5 takes on number 12. The Dogs of Sochi take on a science oven.
Okay, give me some background here on both of these.
So the Dogs of Sochi. Sochi, Russia, has a stray dog problem that they did not solve in time for the Olympics. Athletes were constantly accosted by stray dogs. Stray dogs constantly made their presence known at Olympic venues, and I think it all peaked when a stray dog got onto the cross-country skiing track and started to harass skiers in the middle of their run.
But was he really harassing him or just kind of hanging out and trying to get some attention?
He was barking at him.
Yeah, but was it a bark like, hey, I'm going to chew your leg off bark, or like a bark like, hey, throw me a piece of beef jerky?
I think it was the latter.
Okay. I'm totally lost. I forgot what we were even talking about, but I just wanted to get a clarification on that.
The Dogs of Sochi, and they take on a science oven. Science oven is the name for a microwave as seen in the movie American Hustle.
Oh, I did not see American Hustle. I did not want to see American Hustle. It looked bad, and I'm glad it didn't win any Oscars.
I'm with Andy on that. He pretty much just echoed my exact thoughts.
I liked it.
It was a pretty good movie.
I do like the science oven thing, but the Dogs of Sochi, again, we're going to go back to Facebook, had their own... No, did they have their own Facebook page? Their own Instagram account? I don't remember. Twitter feed, maybe?
All the above.
Right. And the Dogs of Sochi, okay, Mother Russia, and we're talking Mother Russia, a number 1 seed in this tournament, tried to have the Dogs of Sochi eliminated, could not pull it off. So the Dogs of Sochi.
And just to reiterate, the Dogs of Sochi are apparently so smart that they have learnt the bus schedule in Sochi. Like, they know where the buses go and when all the stops are. So if the dogs want to get around Sochi, they know what bus stops to go to when.
Yeah.
I got to vote for the Dogs because I cannot vote for anything related to American Hustle. I simply won't.
Me either. I'm going with the Dogs of Sochi. Plus, I'm an animal lover. How could I vote for a movie over that?
There you go.
Dogs of Sochi it is.
Dogs of Sochi
Dogs
win.
of Sochi.
Was that your vote, Zach? It doesn't matter at this point, but we might as well find out what you thought.
Okay.
You made good arguments.
Okay.
Okay, number 4, Longclaw, Jon Snow's sword from Game of Thrones. That goes up against Chicago Jesus.
Well, I'll go first because I'm the one that brought Chicago Jesus into the basically a sports show universe.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zach told us on last week's show, or maybe the week before, that Chicago Jesus actually led to an NFL player quitting to follow him.
Quitting the combine.
Quitting the
Leaving
combine.
early.
Right.
Because he told him that he was going to get drafted by the Seahawks.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got to go with Chicago Jesus, but I might need to abstain because I have not ever seen. I spoke English this morning, folks. I've never watched Game of Thrones, so
Here's the thing.
I don't know.
Chicago Jesus, while inspired a combine walkout, he's not the real Jesus.
No.
And he would meet a terrible demise at the edge of Jon Snow's blade.
Valyrian steel.
What? Wait a minute. Are we sure he's not the real Jesus?
I'm gonna go ahead and be pretty positive with that one.
Okay, I'm just saying it's highly improbable, but it is possible that he could be the real deal.
Yeah.
I'd like to think his website would be a little bit more professionally designed if he were the real Jesus.
I think Jesus would at least would have gotten off angel fire at this point.
Well, see, that's. I think we talked about this before, though. That's the website of a carpenter.
Okay, that's true.
Valyrian steel, which is the magical, mystical alloy which makes up Jon Snow's sword, Longclaw, is a much more. It's light. It is very sharp, incredibly sharp, better than any steel known to the world of Westeros. And Longclaw was forged of Valyrian steel. It has been around for over 500 years. It has killed the undead. So even if it was the real Jesus, it would still fall because it has killed whites before, whites being the undead. I feel like the Longclaw sword, because I'm a loser and I like the Game of Thrones world, and I don't give a shit about Chicago Jesus.
Right here, Andy.
Valyrian steel would move along past this particular foe, indeed, because he's just a man.
I kind of gave him a pity vote, so that's a great argument. I can't come up with one to combat that in Chicago Jesus' favor, but anyway, Zach, it's on you.
I voted for Jon Snow's sword.
There you go.
Longclaw advances. Okay, now this one I think we're going to get an interesting discussion out of. Number 3 takes on number 14. Ted Turner's mustache takes on Los Angeles Clippers fans' unwarranted sense of self-importance.
Go for it, Zach.
Tom Selleck's mustache, you said?
No, Ted Turner's mustache.
Ted Turner's mustache. Oh.
Tom Selleck's chest hair has been eliminated.
Right. It depends on what you want to be the deciding element of victory.
Okay.
Is it annoyance? Creepiness? Is it...
Could one out annoy the other?
Ted Turner.
What? Oh, I know why he's doing it. Because he doesn't want to give the Clippers the win in anything.
No. That wasn't my vote. That wasn't a vote.
Oh.
Man, I don't know. Somebody else start talking because this is going to be one that's hard for me to.
Clippers. I think that the Ted Turner's mustache is it's hard because we're arguing for the mustache. Mm-hmm. If it was Ted Turner himself, he would just buy the Clippers. Now, it'd be that, and I'm sure he would probably lead them to success.
I was just going to say, if he bought the Clippers, that would just increase their sense of entitlement, unwarranted sense of entitlement.
It's true, but this is just his mustache we're talking about here,
right?
Ted Turner's mustache.
I'd have to go with the Clippers just because I feel like the mustache just sort of is. Mm-hmm. I don't see Ted Turner wanting to get involved with the Clippers, especially with their owner being the sort of racist, horrible person that he is.
Racist, horrible cheapskate.
Indeed. He's just an abomination of...
Oh, you know what? I decided to look up Ted Turner's mustache again.
Not impressive.
It's terrible. It's a bad mustache.
It is.
It's
kind of unsavory.
Yeah, it's just kind of it's not even a pencil mustache. It's just like a ring around his lip.
Southern kind of, hey, how you doing, Ted Turner? Nothing.
Yeah. As much as this isn't a vote for the Clippers as much as it is against that mustache. Clippers
you're not voting for Clippers fans. You're voting for Clippers fans' unwarranted sense of self-importance. So even a vote for them is a vote against them.
Oh, if that's the case, then I'm taking the Clippers.
Clippers.
Okay. And that's actually our first upset of the Sentinel Prime Memorial Region of Excellence.
Okay. Things playing out as expected in the Sentinel Prime region. Nice.
Okay, so this is going to be interesting. Invincible Iron Man at number 2 takes on number 15 seed Nike Corporate Speak at a uniform unveiling.
I got to look a little bit about this Invincible Iron Man.
I would say that Nike Corporate Speak can confuse anyone, even the Invincible Iron Man, and it might be just enough for Jarvis to short circuit, and that's that.
Are we talking a comic series? Because there's like 5-6 comic books in the series.
The Invincible Iron Man.
It's the Invincible Iron Man.
It's much in the same way that it's the goddamn Batman. It's the Invincible Iron Man.
It's just like the essence of who Iron Man is.
So it's just Iron Man.
Yes.
Oh,
like in the same way that there's the Amazing Spider-Man.
Here's another thing to think about. Okay. Well, we're only talking Nike. What was it? Nike what, Mike?
Nike Corporate Speak at a uniform unveiling.
Is Nike Corporate Speak capable of doing a redesign of Iron Man's suit?
Could you imagine the Nike Corporate Speak at the unveiling of Iron Man?
That's my thing. That's what I'm saying. They could make him look so ridiculous and then talk about how it was supposed to be something completely different that isn't ridiculous.
The traditional aesthetic of human exosuits.
Exactly.
And you know that they'd probably change the arc reactor core on his chest to the shape of a Nike swoosh.
Indeed.
And it would be neon green.
It would be neon green and at least 3 different shades of gray.
Right.
He would have like 12 alternate helmets.
Yeah.
Well, he does, but...
Well, you know what I mean. One that was like some sort of carbon mesh, and then there'd be one that was pure chrome. And
another one would have a big giant Iron Man logo on it.
Right. It would have be like a painting of Iron Man on his Iron Man helmet somehow.
One of them would have it would just have a giant logo on one side and then a number on the other. For no reason.
But we haven't established. We're talking corporate speak. Are they even capable of doing a rebrand of Iron Man?
I think Tony Stark is too protective of his image. I don't think he'd let them anywhere. I don't think he'd let Nike anywhere near.
He's also a billionaire genius. I mean, what is he wanting for?
And a noted smartass who would probably make some sort of snide comment about their corporate speak and make them look stupid. So I'm going with the Invincible Iron Man.
I think Iron Man's got at least one more round in him. I don't think that. I mean, I think that Nike would make for an interesting second round appearance. But Iron Man, I think, it's kind of like with Megatron, where it's like, okay, really, we're going to have just some words or something, Yeah. Iron Man's got to take it.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I think he's mislabeled as the Invincible Iron Man.
Is he?
He's the alcoholic Iron Man. Remember that. Just remember that.
Yes, but the alcohol only fuels his smartassness.
Yeah, and his slow march to his own death.
It's going to be a slow march to his own death, but it's going to be one hell of a march.
So what's I mean, is there? So who have we? I voted for Iron Man. Greg,
Iron Man.
Iron Man's through.
Iron Man got through, which leaves us to our number 1 seed, Wild Wing on Fire, returning champion for the region. He takes on the shark that the fawns jumped.
Now here's the thing. Wild Wing on Fire. Wild Wing caught on fire because he could not jump over a flaming hoop.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Wild Wing cannot jump over that shark.
Well, not only that, but, and this might blow everyone's minds, the fact that Wild Wing couldn't jump over the flaming hoop, in doing that, he kind of jumped the shark. Don't you think?
Also, something to keep in mind, Wild Wing made an appearance in a animated cartoon based off of the Mighty Ducks, and some could argue that show at some point jumped the shark.
But don't forget there was a show called Street Sharks, which was totally different. It had nothing to do with one or the other, but just as stupid. I should.
It was another show about stupid animals playing hockey.
I really hope Street Sharks makes the next tournament. I can't believe I just thought of it. But yes, I believe that first of all, the flaming duck, even if it was again, if I reduced it down to an arena setting, the flaming duck would have to go into the water. It would extinguish itself, and the shark is still a shark for all intents and purposes. It's a fucking shark. It would consume the poor mascot within the suit, flailed endlessly until the duck head flew off him, and then he would be torn to pieces. But it's hard to. It wounds me to vote against Flaming Wild Wing.
Yeah,
because it's kind of a nostalgic. It's such a good entry, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of torn. Do we have any votes at all for this?
So far, no one's cast anything.
We talked. This is one that was. We had trouble with this even on the show where we decided on listener entries. Just how powerful is that shark that the Fonz jumped?
Was there any sort of consensus on that?
He has befallen many a TV show, many a movie.
Most TV shows, most movies.
Yeah.
Most TV shows, definitely.
But the other question is, we also talked about it in that discussion, is how powerful was Wild Wing in the first place? We were surprised that it was your final four.
He made it through.
Let's reduce it down because we did this with we did this with Rob Fort's crack pipe. Could Wild Wing jump the shark?
He couldn't even jump that hoop, though. So,
which I say, in not being able to jump the hoop, he in fact jumped the shark, using the term as it's meant to be used.
But we're not. Are we talking about the shark? Or are we talking about the term? Because that's
the question.
No, we are talking about the shark. The Fonz jumped is the official. That is the entry.
So it's a shark. It's not the term "jump the shark." It is an actual shark.
It is the actual shark.
The shark that launched the term and everything else. Yes.
Sure. Then it's got to be the shark because Wild Wing can't jump through a hoop with a trampoline.
This is true.
Indeed.
It would just be
wow.
In Wild Wing, it would be shark-eaten Wild Wing because his legacy is not being able to jump over things.
This is true.
I think we have a consensus that the shark defeats Wild Wing. A shocking 2 years in a row, the 16 seed in the Sentinel Prime Memorial Region of Excellence has knocked off the number 1 seed.
I'm telling you, this is not a tournament you want to be a number 1 seed in.
No.
Okay, so if I'm not entirely sure how we're going to do this, I take it it's just how the second round matchups are decided? Do we reseed?
No, I think it's just as it was. So the
go ahead.
Well, what were we going to say? Because before, usually we have bracket style to where it's
okay. So the shark,
the 116 would play the 8-9.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, so 116 plays 8-9. So the shark that the Fonz jumped will take on Fox Mulder's "I Want to Believe" poster.
Did the X-Files ever jump the shark?
Yes.
Some would say that a lot of people would say yes. The Invincible Iron Man. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Invincible Iron Man will take on Rob Ford's crack pipe. The Clippers fans' unwarranted sense of self-importance will take on Megatron, the Decepticon Emperor of Destruction.
Right, that's a thing.
And Longclaw, Jon Snow's sword, will take on the Dogs of Sochi.
Ooh, that's going to be a tough one. The Dogs of Sochi will have to rely on raw numbers to win this one.
Indeed.
Glad we're not voting. I'm really glad we're not voting on it.
We're not voting. It is in your hands, listeners.
That's right.
Gentlemen, the 2014 Glorious Tournament of Victory is underway.
That's right.
And I just want to say before I forget, how in the world did Salsa not make this tournament this year?
Oh, my God, Salsa! Oh.
How in the world did all three of us, well, excuse Andy because he hasn't been around, but how did the three of us let that one slide by?
I knew I should have kept a list of this crap because we keep talking about things that we won in the tournament.
Right.
Salsa.
Well,
there's always next year. There's always next year.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen in the Glorious Tournament of Victory. You never know.
Salsa.
I'm not saying one thing or another. I have no insider info. I just have a strong feeling that the Thunder Bay Bolts will rebrand as Salsa next year. I just have a feeling.
It's entirely possible.
Well, it's been quite the first round, guys. We've had 2 number 1 seeds fall, I think, or was it more than 2?
Probably more than that.
2. It was
2.
in Mike's.
Chimp Bartender, last year's runner-up in the tournament.
Two of the final 4 from last year have been eliminated
Already.
Crazy.
Yeah, in the first round.
Yeah.
So who do we like going in the rest of the way?
I got to say, Walter White and Mother Russia look strong.
Yeah.
Although I really feel that the Dogs of Sochi have it in them.
I can't look away from uncomfortable clown themed VHS porno.
That's going to be a tough one to beat.
It's got to overcome Mother Russia. If it can take down the number 1 seed, Mother Russia, then we might be talking about a long run for uncomfortable clown themed.
I agree. If it gets past Mother Russia, it's probably going to take it all the way.
Again, it all comes down to, would Vladimir Putin be disgusted or aroused by clown-themed porno?
Well, this is the thing about clown-themed porno. He could be both.
And the best thing about it is it's in the hands of our disgusting listeners who have to make a sorted choice between some of these weird things. So I'm really curious to see the reaction to our tournaments and see who comes out on top, because the voting can be so random. I mean, we had some really close battles last year.
Well, if you remember, Crystal Pepsi almost knocked off the speech from Miracle last year, which was ridiculous.
You know, don't be hating on Crystal Pepsi.
I know. It's, what did you call it? It's magic or something, or
it's wizardry.
Wizardry.
It's dark magic and witchcraft. It's a clear soft drink, but it tastes like a cola. It's just, I don't know how they do it.
It's a glorious tournament of victory, folks. This is the essence.
And let's not write off the Comfort Wipe.
Comfort Wipe, I mean, out of nowhere, Dark Horse. I mean,
just barely got in tonight in a play-in game and already knocked off the number 1 seed.
It's playing its best ball here at the end of the season.
It's the St. Louis Cardinals of the glorious tournament.
You know, they're not in it. They're not in it until the tournament, and then they turn it on, and they just lay waste to everyone.
The Comfort Wipe plays the glorious tournament of victory the right way.
I mean, can you imagine the Final Four? We have a conference matchup between Uncomfortable Clown Porn versus Toilet or whatever, Clean Wipe or whatever the fuck.
Comfort Wipe.
Comfort Wipe versus Clown Porn. I mean,
you know, that's going to be one of those matchups that, you know, we always look back fondly on because it's going to be a great game.
But we don't know. There's so many surprises. People's votes could turn this whole thing upside down.
Well, you know that Astronaut Chimp with the newspaper is going to get a lot of the sentimental vote.
The Primate Conference always does.
Yep. And especially with Chimp Bartender falling so early, 97 Chimp or 97 Malibu driven by a chimp, going to get sentimental votes.
Probably, no doubt. I mean, it's cousin, the drunk gorilla on a penny farthing. I don't know.
I think that one's got a shot at going a long way too.
It just depends on the spirit of the voters. We got to kind of test the temperature here of our voting audience. So
I think it has that it factor though. It really does.
I don't see anything slowing that gorilla down.
But
maybe a well-placed rock in the road.
I mean, Satan
in this tournament, and it puts people in an interesting predicament. Do you vote for Satan? That's the thing.
Unfortunately, I think religion is going to play a big part in him not making it very far.
Although let's think about this. Our Catholic voters can vote for Satan and then confess to it and have their souls be cleansed.
Wow.
We will find out. There's so many.
I mean, it's the best of both worlds. You could vote for Satan and then receive spiritual cleansing. So, I think Satan's got a bit. I think that's the ace up Satan's sleeve, and we all know that he always has one.
Every bracket we've revealed has been awesome. I think that the fans are going to have a hell of a time picking winners from this field.
It's always good.
Are they going to be able to vote tomorrow?
We'll post the brackets right after you post the episode.
Right, exactly. Once the episode's up, then the brackets will go up, the voting will begin, and we will have a Sweet 16 by Monday, guys.
All right.
Are we done? Do we have any more to say about this intense first round of the Glorious Tournament of Victory?
No, just, it's what we all expected it to be. And more.
We'll get out there and vote and pick your winners for the Glorious Tournament of Victory 2014.
There you go. And you can get all the information and all that good stuff on our website, basicallyasportshow.com,
Right.
on the Twitter at basicallysports, email basicallyasportshow@gmail.com. And did I miss any?
No.
Spreaker, Podomatic, iTunes.
Oh, iTunes, YouTube. What was the other one? Whatever.
They're there.
You'll find it somewhere or another. So that's it, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Vote.
All right. 2014 Glorious Tournament of Victory.
Victory.
Please hang up and try again.